What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod Show.
Welcome back. It's time for another Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. We're glad to be back. Where's all that noise coming from?
Just keep going. Just keep going. You guys can move on.
Anything happens, he just shuts down.
I know.
How about have your shit together? We've been here for an hour prepping for this show.
Okay.
God.
Just go.
Glad to be back after a week off with a bunch of idiots. And quite a bit to talk about after, you too, Chase. Quite a bit to talk about after Paris Supercross, rounds 1 and 2 of the AMA Arena Cross Series. We also have, tonight, we're going to have Triumph Racing's Austin Forkner on the line. We haven't talked to him since he switched teams. He's been pretty quiet, so we're really excited to talk to him. And we have Ryan Breece. Unfortunately, I had to do a pre-record with him earlier today. Moto Concepts, Honda's, Ryan Breece. But he forgot when we scheduled this thing that he was flying out this evening to head over to Australia. But we'll have a pre-record, and if you're listening live, what we're going to do is play the audio, and there's 4 of us in studio tonight. We'll all get on the YouTube chat and chat with you guys and kind of have some fun. So, good show tonight. Lots to talk about. As I said, 4 guys in studio, back with us after he bailed on us last show.
Yeah, bailing on you was what happened.
Working YouTube and cameras and all that good stuff. Scotty Thompson.
Is this would this be a bad time to tell you started the stream about 10 seconds late?
So what did we miss? Did we miss something?
No, just the first little intro of the song.
Super. What a show. Excited to be back with all the other stuff going on. Okay. Anyway, in studio, Scotty Thompson. Back in studio, TJ Smith sitting over here next to me. What's up, TJ?
Always.
As always. Until the oil field calls. And back with us again from 710 Designs, Chase Moore. What's up, Chase?
I didn't do anything. I just want to put that on record.
Well, you're still grouped in with the idiots.
Yeah.
Still grouped in with the idiots.
It's the early in the show.
Guilty. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Any little thing happens, the microsecond, he just shuts down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
starts yelling.
No, hey, I didn't shut down. I heard a bunch of noise. I'm like, okay, we got a problem.
I fixed it. But you just keep going.
That'd be
Can
like
you imagine him like on the news
Hey,
somewhere? Like in a real job
nobody
like
ever said that I was trying to be like a real news guy or TV guy. Like, yeah I expect you guys to have your shit
because they're in your ear, and he'd be like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're going to commercial? Wait, what?"
And that is why I've said every time we've had somebody from TV, there's no way I could do that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
that'd be like
you were saying something as if I wouldn't agree.
Yeah, well, it's like
Ooh, what a burn, guys! What a burn!
It'd be like if Jet didn't jump a triple because he heard a baby cry or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly what it was like. It's more like Jet didn't jump the triple because somebody threw a baby on the track.
It was not that bad.
All right, Racetech, open discussion. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company, and they have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Guys like Cody Webb, who's crushing it. He's back in Endurocross. Cooper Abbott, both third overall in Endurocross, all trust Racetech. And Arena Cross, Austin Politelli's on it. And then Team Solitaires with Robbie Wageman and, I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Who's the other rider, Team Solitaire right now? Either way, Team Solitaire is running their engines. Lots of good stuff you guys don't realize. Racetech supplies a lot of engine components to a lot of teams. All you got to do is go to racetech.com. You can find your local service center. You can get your suspension serviced, get parts for your engine, get your local tech, find out who your local service technician is, get to know him. He can do your engine work, do your suspension work. We really, really appreciate Racetech and Checkers and the guys being on board with us. Okay, guys, so let's start this thing with talking about Paris Supercross. 2 nights over in Paris. Honestly, right, I think everybody would agree. Jet was...
Who?
Jet Lawrence was the best rider. Yeah, you probably don't know who he is because you don't really follow the sport. You don't ever know what's going on. But Jet Lawrence, he's a guy that rides for Factory Honda, and he's pretty good, Scotty.
Honda? He's
pretty good. And he's probably the best rider over the weekend, but Yamaha Motor USA's Cooper Webb was the king of para Supercross because he was most consistent. Very happy for Cooper. Cooper's one of our guys.
It's still hard for me not to call it. I did this last year. It's hard for me not to call it Bercy. I even caught myself typing in like.
Really? Hasn't been Bercy in
I know.
a while.
Just always
again,
I still think
I
Bercy.
live under a rock.
Very true. TJ.
Yeah.
What did you take away from Paris? Was it the most exciting race on the planet? Not really, but there was some good battles going on. Some mistakes made that made the racing a little more exciting than maybe it would have been. But when you look at the whole thing, for me, Cooper Webb and Malcolm Stewart were impressive. Very impressive.
I would say my biggest takeaway is just how good the other riders were in the whoops. You always hear about the European guys can't ride the whoops. You can't do those guys were blitzing the whoops just fine. Like, why are some of those guys not here in AMA Supercross? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever because they were really good.
Well, did you see how the rest of the race went?
Yeah, and then you add in Jason Anderson and
but those guys
Justin
are going to
Cooper.
be better than probably half of the field right now.
I mean, they're definitely qualifying for mains.
Absolutely.
I saw the whoops and we're like, that's kind of big for Paris. And then nobody really. I mean, there was a couple people that had problems. Don't get me wrong, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
There was a clear division between the Supercross, like the normal Supercross guys, and the people that were there because they lived in Europe or whatever.
Yeah, but don't you think that if they're there now and that level, that all it would take is like a boot camp of training, and they could be better than any of them.
They probably
Why don't they do it then?
They probably could, but you got to remember that track was kind of simple it's short. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of places to like make up time and be faster than everybody.
Off was hard to do. I mean, they had the skills. I'm just saying.
Right. No, I'm not saying they don't have the skills, but you come over here and the tracks are more technical. They're longer, and then you have more room for separation. And then it kind of makes them look worse. I think there might have been some of that, but they were definitely better than I expect with seeing how big the whoops are and with how
and all those guys.
Yeah, and everybody talks about how they can't ride whoops, and they looked fine to me.
Yeah, they looked really good.
That I mean, really, the craziest thing was the fact that Jet was doing that quad like the whole weekend.
Yeah,
that quad
thing was big.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was surprised that Cooper did it a couple times when he was in front of him, but he didn't do it consistently.
I never saw anybody, but I had heard that some other guys did, but I never actually
Cooper did
saw
it when he was that one. I think it was in the second day when he was in front of Jet for a little bit. I don't know if it was the first or the second race.
And this is going to sound dumb, but like, why don't they really make changes at the track in between? That's
I thought that too. I had that thought as well. It's like you had a whole night.
Yeah.
Like
swap a rhythm section up or two.
Like, change it up just a little bit. You don't have to change the whole layout of everything.
I guess that benefited the guys that were there, like the Europeans that were there. Probably benefited them.
Yeah, because they had a day of practice. And
then, maybe so. But
TJ, you had some comments on the whoops themselves and the track itself.
Yes.
And we were in our group text. Well, there's still more racing to talk about, but the track itself and the quote-unquote tough blocks.
Yeah, so to start with the whoops, they need to take notes. The AMA needs to take notes on how they did those whoops. If anybody didn't get a chance to watch it, those whoops stayed together the whole weekend. Like the whole both nights. I know they groomed them in between a little bit, but even most of the time, you can't fix whoops once they go away. They never went away. They kept them rolled, kept the guys like blitzing them pretty much the whole night. I never saw anybody doubling through them or tripling through them, really.
The way they were built, you really could now.
And so those would work with the shorter whoop pads, but yet people have to blitz them, and you have to have that skill. That's something they could pick up. And then, obviously, I wasn't going to bring it up because it's been beat to death, but AMA also needs to take note of those tough blocks. Like, why in the heck do we not have those here? I saw one of them get kicked out in the track, and a back marker hit it, went right over it like it was nothing, because it was nothing. And it was like it makes. And then they had some padded ones in places you needed padded ones, like in the corners, the top of the berms, places like that.
They had nets.
Did they have nets? I didn't even see that.
Vial went into him off the whoops and got stuck into it.
I missed that one.
A couple guys ended up in the nets.
Yeah.
The only thing that scared me about that with Vial is it was close to it. Like, the only downfall of that is if they get stuck in it like that and the bike is on top of them, it could burn the crap out of them.
Yeah, but I guess it's better than going in the stands.
I think a couple of those guys would have maybe been almost not dead necessarily, but they would have been bad. A couple of those crashes would have been bad.
Yeah, I guess you're
without
right.
the nets. I think the nets overall outweigh.
But
the issues of what
those
could
tough
happen,
blocks,
I suppose.
or those track markers. I
Yeah.
guess they're not really tough blocks. And the point that makes so much sense is it's a business for Feld. Why would they have 2 trucks, from what I understand, that takes 2 trucks to haul all of the tough blocks.
Yeah.
With those other track marker style deals, they'll fold down. They can fit it all in one truck. It's going to save them money. So yes, there'll be an investment into some new tough blocks, but then it'll be offset within a year. If you look at the schedule, how it bounces all across the country, you know how expensive truck driving is, Chase. I mean,
it's only getting more expensive too.
Yeah, and with fuel prices, they would save so much money. Save a truck driver, they would save a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
We don't like change around here,
I
TJ.
honestly think that's a lot of what it is. It's-
Yeah, I mean, those are questions we can ask at some point for some of the guys at Feld. But with the racing itself, do you take anything away? Like, again, with Malcolm Stewart, I feel he looked like he was more fit than years past. He was more aggressive than he's been in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Like that means something to me. Yes, again, Jet was the best rider. Hunter wasn't as good as I expected. They kind of kept talking.
True.
He's not super comfortable in the 25 yet.
Yeah.
Like to hear more about that. But Malcolm and Cooper look way, way better coming into Paris this early preseason than in years past. I feel like we can take a little something away from that. Maybe not, but that, like, right now, I'm like, okay, those 2 guys look like they're ready to go.
Yeah, Malcolm kind of looked more like he did, coming into going on the Husky the year before last.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that.
Before his injury, yep.
He's one of my favorite riders, and I really want to see him do well. And they gave me a little bit of hope because he looked good.
Even though Cooper was more consistent, the only person that I ever was like watching and thought that they might have the raw speed to catch Jet was Mookie.
Yeah, and even like when he was one of the rhythms or one of the laps, I think on race 2 on night 2, he clipped the rhythm, and it was kind of like I was wondering, is he eyeing up the quad that Jet's doing? And they took the camera off of him, so I wasn't really sure, but he just looked so comfortable.
Yeah.
And yeah, he definitely. I don't think he was going to catch Jet. Nobody was on that level.
But he was the only one that ever gave me the thought that, like, I knew Cooper Webb was going to stay 2 to 3 seconds behind him, like he did all last year in Supercross, and like how he's But when Mookie, a couple of times when Mookie would get into second, I was like, maybe. I didn't really think he was going to, but he was the only one that showed that flash of speed that potentially could.
My biggest concern with any of the top riders other than Hunter
I was going to say Hunter.
Well, I was a little worried about that, but I also know it's still early.
I feel like that really shows that they're struggling with the bike setup. I mean, Jet's going to always be good on no matter what he rides.
They haven't been riding Supercross on the 25 very much.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about Hunter yet. What I was worried about, maybe it won't make that much of a difference with the 9 whoop thing, but Cooper was not good in the whoops. A couple years ago, he got a little better. Man, he was losing so much time when you would see Jet or Malcolm coming up on him.
But I don't think he did in the last race. I was waiting because
maybe not as much
because Mookie was right behind him, and I'm like, okay, Mookie's about to make a run, and then they were come out pretty even.
Yeah.
I think as the night got better, as the weekend went by, he probably got it dialed in a little better.
Chase, what do you think went through Jet's head when he clips that lapper? Because like that, you never know with that crash like that. That could have been an injury, a knee, and here we are 4 months out, 5 months out, and begin a Supercross. Like that could have been a bad crash.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. I mean,
No.
it's real easy to pop a collarbone, and then now you're dealing with that. You don't get any off season. I mean, he obviously, as soon as it happened, he was probably thinking something like that. I think that every time it slows down and I realize I'm about to crash.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could have been real bad.
Yeah, it's just these type of events. The teams, they have to weigh, right? Certain teams like Kawasaki doesn't want their riders don't want their riders going to MXDN for reasons like this. Is it worth it? Of course, that could happen.
Practice riding.
Yeah, it could happen practice riding, but intensity is a little different when you're racing. Mm-hmm. Maybe he doesn't make that move in practice. Maybe he just backs off. What's the matter? Maybe maybe that doesn't even happen in practice. It's one of those things you can't really say for sure, but it definitely makes you think a little bit.
I mean, hindsight's always 20/20.
Sure,
so.
Very good point. And then in the 250 class, that I felt that was pretty exciting, just because Vial and Joe Shimoda kept making mistakes and having issues, and some of the local riders or the French riders were, had better results on night one. And Joe was off pace a little bit. That's a little bit worrisome. Again, like when is Joe going to figure this thing out? Where we want Joe to be the one of the guys.
Yeah.
But is he?
Can you take all that from just one race?
No. But, we're trying to do a show here. So
he was the Prince last year. So
yeah.
Yeah, he did say he did win last year, and I thought the last race that he did, like that was a pretty dang good race if from that start that he had to go up there and like be on the back wheel.
Yeah.
At the finish line, I thought that was very.
Yeah, I think because of the atmosphere of the race and the fact that it was in Paris and France, that gives Vial the little bit of extra push that he might needed to go to that next level. And maybe Shimoda wasn't trying to push that hard and just kind of was, like you said, not trying to get hurt.
He got DNF with that DNF.
Well, the DNF didn't help either.
Yeah.
But
either way,
the ones I saw, it seemed like he was just kind of pacing behind him.
I enjoyed Paris. I think we've all kind of talked about that and Arena Cross, and some of it might have been a little boring. I actually enjoyed Paris Supercross. I skipped through I watched it late, so I skipped through all the extra stuff and just watched the racing, and I thought what?
Well, no, I was just going to say something when you get done.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it showed, if you watch the whole thing, which I did, like I watched it live or whatever, it makes me really appreciate our TV package and how tight the ship runs.
Dude,
there was so much downtime.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine even being in the stands without downtime.
Yeah, when I went a couple years ago, there's definitely a lot of downtime. I mean, the fans are enjoying watching the freestyle show and different things, and there's other races, but it is a lot of downtime. You are correct.
It's got Arena Cross vibes for sure.
A
little bit more put together, but still kind of the same vibe.
Puts the 65s out there.
I will say that it seems like American Supercross, it's so dialed in that it almost goes by too fast. Like
yeah,
it's like it's.
I don't agree. I mean, I like.
Well, you watch race day live and everything, not really, but like if you just watch the broadcast.
I'm talking about going to the event, like
oh yeah,
like I'm going to the event.
That's dumb.
Well, you hate racing.
Yeah.
All right, let's as we're getting closer to Austin Forkner coming on, let's talk about Yamaha highs and lows real quick. Yamaha Motor USA has a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best doesn't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com, or even better, go to your local dealership. Look at all the different options of Yamaha products, side-by-sides. Go buy something. Buy some Blue Crew. It'll put you at the top podium at your local events, or at least
just look at Dark's World Vets results. It'll tell you. Easy. Look at Cooper Webb, not at me. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, look at Cooper Webb. We do appreciate Yamaha. So much cool stuff coming out. What's that?
Or moving bikes.
Moving bikes. We're trying to move some bikes. Yeah. Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows. So I'll do mine real fast. My highs were just Paris Supercross and Arena Cross, having some races. The tough blocks at Paris, getting to ride Sunday with TJ over here, even though he was on his janky electric bike, homemade bike. Cooper Webb, his being the king of Paris, man. It's awesome. I love it. I'm a big Cooper fan.
How many do you have? Is this like a high and low, or just like?
And then
it's called highs and lows.
I'm just glad he's doing it from the past weekend and not like 4 weekends from now.
And then some punk ass kid named Doc Smith won the B main in Arena Cross night 2. Good job, Doc.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Lows were the rain.
They have B mains.
We had a little bit of. We had a little bit of rain Sunday before TJ and I went and rode, and it was a little slick, but we needed the rain, so it should be a high also.
Turned out great.
And my other low, sorry guys, Arena Cross during the press conference and the race on night 1 misspelled Kalina Humphrey's name.
Kalana?
Is it Kalana?
Yeah, Kalana.
I thought it was Kalina. You sure?
Kalana.
Is it not an E? Okay, well, I'm mispronouncing it, so on me too.
K-E-L-A-N-A.
But either way, they misspelled it. And
mispronounced it. And
I mispronounced it, so I suck also. TJ, go.
Real simple. My low is Doc did not make the main event this weekend, but the high is he won the B by such a gap. It kind of proved that he should have been in the main event. Like he ran off, and he said he was just cruising.
He got taken out a couple times.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He didn't make it because he crashed into somebody. It was his fault. So
the one where he did. Okay.
Yeah, because the guy rolled a double, and Doc was committed to the double, and he his brake lever went into the guy's back, locked the front wheel up, he went down.
Oh yeah, the other one was in the B main the first night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, he like that, and then obviously I got to ride. I haven't ridden in like 3 months, and I was just like, you know what, I need to go ride. So
Let me edit real quick before you guys go. Both of us, Lowe's, show friend Cameron Nimella passed away. Cameron had a YouTube channel doing bike builds, and he was on our show early on in its infancy of history of the show. He helped myself with some projects or some questions I had mechanically.
Yeah.
Cameron was a really good dude, very popular YouTube channel. I didn't really ever get a chance to meet him, but a great guy. And he passed away. He had some bout with cancer.
Yep.
And passed away recently. So
and he's got a family. And if you go, there's a deal on Vital with this week's stuff. His stuff is in there. Go to his channel, subscribe.
Social Scoop.
Yeah, Social Scoop. Go watch his old videos. They're awesome, and all those downloads and stuff. That money is going to go to his family. So that's a way to help out without it costing you anything. And the dude does it teaches you how to do like Cerakoting and custom bike builds. Like he built this Honda 125 that is just immaculate. So it kind of sucks. What's up?
I'll come back to it.
Did I say something wrong?
What was that word? What was that bike?
A Honda 125.
And what was it? How was it? How'd it look?
It was sick.
No, you said
Immaculate.
Yeah, there's
no
no
N
N
in
at the
immaculate.
end. Immaculate. LATE.
Let me add to I'm going to edit my highs now. My high is immaculate.
Immaculate.
You're trying to give a tribute to a man who just lost his life, and you just get roasted.
And I promise Cameron would be laughing at that. Go ahead, Scotty.
My highs were like with one of my moto buddies and some family friends got married this weekend, so we went to a wedding, so that was cool.
That's your low?
No, it's my highs.
Oh, fuck. If I had to go to a wedding to be a low.
Well, you hate people and hate yourself, so
that's true.
Whatever. And then the low was Hunter Lawrence's performance at Paris. I wanted to see him battle Jet, and because he had been the last couple rounds at SMX, and I thought that was going to be the race. And one of my highs is that Cooper stepped up, and that he, it took a fluke thing, but Cooper won the Paris Supercross. That's good for him. It's good for fly racing. It's good for all that. So I think that gives him a lot of momentum going into the next couple of off-season races in A1, so that was cool.
I just got a text from Hunter Lawrence that said, F you, Scotty.
So we are, since we're butting in, I got another high.
I was upset that he didn't do well because I like him. You're an idiot.
One of our viewers in the live chat, VTech for fun, says, Dark, it's okay if things are not perfect. People's grammar doesn't matter. Just let them be themselves. You know what they mean.
No.
Oh, hey, also, VTech, you misspelled mint. M-E-N-T. It's M-E-A-N-t.
Chase, what are your Yamaha Motor
He
USA
had to have
highs
done
and
that on
lows?
purpose. He had to have done that.
I got some tattoo work done yesterday. Shout out Red Rooster Tattoo. Cooper Webb getting a win in his first race for Fly was pretty cool. I know JT's pretty happy about that. Doc winning a B main, obviously. Lowe's is Vial going into the net in front of the hometown crowd. Sucks. I'm sure he was wanting do a little better and everything or whatever. And Jet getting his chest caved in the whoops. I don't know how he rode that out.
Oh yeah. In practice?
Friday or whatever. Yeah, that was gnarly.
Okay, is that it? Mm-hmm. Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows. Listen, if you guys are listening, watching on YouTube, as we're winding down this season, we'll probably be doing shows like every other week. We'll kind of let you know. Working on Sean, our guy at Vital, is working on some new graphics. We're going to update some things. We're going to change some segments around, try to make some improvements, make it a little more streamlined, and just we're going to try to be overall better in 2025. MotoXpod@gmail.com is our email. Send in your emails or thoughts on things that we can improve on, things that we can do a little better, things that you'd like to see us talk about or have graphics wise. I think we're going to do a lot of new stuff. The goal is to do a lot of new stuff in 2025. I want to hear from you guys.
Maybe like not getting distracted at any kind of inconvenience or anything.
How about stop screwing up? Thank you. All right, moving on. Another piece of news, just real quick.
Perfect with your B
I know.
minus.
Thank you.
B minus media.
Appreciate all the compliments.
Journalism, B minus journalism.
Jorge Prado officially announced he signed to Kawasaki, Monster Energy Kawasaki. that's going to be awesome to have him over here this season. Again, last year just kind of learning a little bit. I think this year will also be a learning year, but I think a great addition to AMA racing.
Where does the 70 come from?
I think that's just what he did races over here in
Yeah,
Supercross.
so I think that's what
He got enough points to get a
He
number.
earned enough
Yeah.
points in those races.
He got a couple I think his best was like an 11.
No, I just didn't know if that's the why.
Yeah, because he was over here a little longer than he had originally planned. So I think he did 4 or 5 rounds, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Enough to get number 70.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, obviously. Apparently.
Apparently. Well, you made podiums.
Yeah.
70 on a Cowie's nostalgia. That's kind of cool.
A little bit, Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, Fox gear too.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big get for Fox.
Yeah, that's a huge deal for him to.
They need to take advantage of that and do like a retro on the retro, whatever it is, round it is 4, something like that. Usually.
Yeah.
I don't know if they been doing I guess like an official retro round the last few years.
I feel like
it's
there's
usually
always
the
one
military-
year
oh,
that
no.
The military appreciation, but I don't remember.
no, I feel like they
I don't think
one.
they did this past year.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Because I think
Maybe just some
'cause-
teams just did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Because Cowie had the silver rims on a couple bikes.
And then Yamaha did the Grape 8 bikes.
yeah,
So we're gonna get Austin Forkner on in just a few minutes.
Purple. The Grape 8 bikes.
Yeah.
Before we do that, there's another just quick. I don't know if we even have enough time to get into it, but there's been a lot of social media content today about the Lawrences banned Hayden Deegan and Jason Anderson from coming to OzX. There's two sides to every story. I reached out to Hayden. I reached out to Jason Anderson. I reached out to Lucas Myrtle, who is the agent for the Lawrence brothers. Mertz has not responded. Hayden responded and said, I said, hey, man, is this true? What do you know? And he's like, yeah, man, I just kind of found out about it. But basically saying that, yes, that the Lawrence's team, the camp kind of told the promoters in Australia that, hey, we don't really want Hayden here, and they've had beef, or I guess their Chance Hymas, their teammate, their friend, their practice partner, has had beef.
well, that goes back to 2 years ago on the podium.
Is it that, or do they not want to share the spotlight?
I doubt that that's what it is, but I don't know because I didn't get an answer from that side. I can only tell you that I got a response from Hayden. He didn't really know why. He just said that this is what he was told. Jason Anderson responded back and said, man, he didn't even really know. He got done riding or whatever today, and his phone was blown up, and he saw it, and he just decided to make an Instagram post to mess around, that he was never even actually planning on going. But it does sound like they didn't want those two guys there. But I can't confirm that from the Lawrence compound side. What do you guys think about that? Scotty, first, like if the Lawrence's camp said, hey, we don't want these two guys here, or we don't show, if that's the case, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think if it depends on how clearly they define the reasoning. If it's, we've got beef, Deegan's got beef with Chance and got beef with us, I don't want him here, then that looks that's not a very good look.
What would look
other
good?
reason?
Yeah, there's
What reason would look good?
Is it my take? Let me finish.
I forget when we go to him. It takes a while.
Yeah.
Let me text Austin. Tell him we're gonna be a little late.
I would think that it had more to do is that they're trying to brand themselves, having to share the spotlight in their home country because Deegan's coming over.
But you think it's okay?
No, I'm just saying
give it
that
a
We're
reason.
never gonna get there.
I'm just saying that's probably why more of the reason why than just saying we have beef with them, because then that makes them look like they're riding scared, and I know the Lawrence brothers aren't scared of Hayden Deegan.
I don't think it's more that they're scared. I think they're
like
pissed
them.
off from everything that's happened, and
I think it's just they don't want to have to share spotlight and potential revenue dollars with.
that's
Deegan.
obviously some of it.
But hold on. How is it going to hurt their revenue dollars? They're not going to
They're not as many people are going to come do their little VIP thing. Not as many people are going to come over and stand in the line and get autographs and buy merch.
I don't think it would actually affect it, but that's probably some of the thinking.
You think it's a good look for the Lawrence brothers to be in Australian Supercross with a line around the end to go to Deegan's tent?
Yeah, it doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I don't think they care that much
Anything
either.
that brings the fans out is good for them because they're getting a show up fee. It's the
All
same
this
no
did
matter
was
what.
if this was really what happened, which it sounds like it is, huge backfire, because all it did is make people like Ando and Deegs better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't do anything for them good.
If that's what
Negative
happened,
attention is better than no attention.
If that's what happened, it's kind of chicken shit, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, hopefully Mert to get back with me pretty soon and we can get an answer on that. Yeah, it's just a little drama that I kind of didn't really even care about until people just kept hitting me up. I'm like, well, all right, let's reach out and see what we can do. Michael Lindsay called over and talked to Adam Bailey to try to get some information. And I don't know what he got, but we got our first guest of the night on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seat. Wow, I cannot talk tonight.
Stop the show.
Yeah, if you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. And don't forget, they have complete seats for the Talare and Super 73 and covers for the Suron and Segway. And they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. So visit gutsracing.com and order today. I just got my seat cover for my 25 Yamaha today, so that'll be getting put on tomorrow. But tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Triumph Racing, Austin Forkner. What's up, Austin?
Hey, that's the first time I've been introduced to riding for Triumph. That sounded kind of weird for a second.
Bet it,
but yeah,
yeah,
I'm good.
I bet it did, right? 14
I've been
years.
like 7 years. Yeah, so 7 years on PC, but yeah, like 14 or whatever on Cowie. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, when you see the photos and the your press photos and your headshots, you're kind of like, no, it's just all weird, right?
Yeah. It is weird. Yeah, definitely. Like that's what one of my buddies. He said the same thing. He was like, dude, I saw something and I just skimmed right over it because I didn't even think it was you. And I scrolled back up and I was like, oh, that's you. Yeah.
So I want to ask you about the whole change. Look, I feel like you left on good terms with Mitch. The rumors were he still wanted to keep you. So I don't know well, let's start with that. What were your options? Was there an option to stay at Pro Circuit? Did you just decide you needed a change? Kind of tell us how you made the decision.
Well, Mitch is so there's kind of two ways on riding for Cowie because like Mitch is Pro Circuit, but Factory Cowie is also involved.
Okay.
And so it wasn't in Mitch's decision. Like if it were up to him alone, he said that he wanted to keep me. And Factory Cowie, I don't think was as much about it as he was basically. And I think that kind of, they were interested at a certain price point, basically, I think is kind of what it came down to. And that price point was, definitely lower than what I had been making. So that's kind of what encouraged us to, and from what I was hearing, it was possibly only going to be like a 1 year deal or something too. And, so that's kind of, I mean, now I got a family on the way as far as I got a kid on the way, obviously. So that kind of a 1 year deal was less intriguing than it wasn't so much about, I guess, as much. It was definitely like there was some money involved in it as well, but it was less about that, more so just about that I wanted more than 1 year. Basically, I just wanted as many years as I could guaranteed so that I know that I have a job, as far as, like I said, starting a family. So, that was kind of a bigger deal. And Triumph was able to offer me more than 1 year. So we, started talking to them. It all happened pretty late too. Like we didn't get started super early because, I had already talked to Mitch, right after I had my brain surgery and like all that. And he was like, yeah, we're we're good. And I still want you and everything like that. So I really wasn't looking around that much. And then kind of all of a sudden it was kind of like Mitch was like, hey, I mean, we might not be quite as good as I thought we were basically. And I was like, oh man. So, we started looking around and ended up with Triumph.
Yeah, and since you've moved, look, you had just moved to California, I think maybe a year or two sooner left. You'd been at Raynard's place in Oklahoma forever, moved your program to California, was working with Rhino for a little bit, and now you're going to a whole new program. I kind of think it's a good idea. Move to the East Coast, totally new program, working with Brownie. You need a completely fresh start, I feel like, and I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, no, I mean, already, like, I was nothing but happy to get out of California. I mean, I've never been a California fan. And,
right.
And now all the tracks are closing down out there. So it's like kind of, I mean, we got our test tracks, which at Cowie we had a few, but like, I mean, California's kind of slowly becoming not the place to be anymore. And I'm thinking that some teams are starting to figure that out and some teams aren't. But yeah, I don't really think, I mean, California, I don't like the tracks at all. And even like at the races, like A1 compared to how the practice tracks you ride out there, they're not really that much alike. So I was happy to get out of California, not to mention all the, obviously the prices, the traffic, all the other stuff that comes with California as well. So I was not bummed about that at all. And I've been to Matt Walker's place before, which is now Triumph's facility. And so I knew that, you know, that they were trying to convince me, you know, on the facility, Triumph was, I mean, and I was like, you guys don't have to convince me on the facility. I'm coming from California. Like, it's not going to be hard to convince me on the facility. I know how it is there. It's the red dirt, similar to like what I was riding on at Robbie's. And I've had people that really early on, they were like, when they first saw the videos of me riding, they were like, "Oh, I didn't know you went back to Robbie's." And I was like, "I didn't. This is." they thought it was Robbie's, just because like even the where the Supercross track is, like kind of surrounded by trees and stuff. It has a really similar feel that Robbie's did. So yeah, I mean, I got nothing but good things to say about the facility, and the team's been solid, and Browning's been solid, and
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I don't really have many complaints as of right now. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, and you know, I mean, I wouldn't say the bike is entirely where I could go race it right this second, but where it was when I started riding Supercross and to where it is now is it's way better. And I mean, it's pretty much a daily basis that my lap times are coming down, and I'm getting stronger and stronger in the motos as I get more in shape. So yeah, I mean, it's only getting better. So, you know, I still have a month and a half till A1 if I do West, and if not, then I have even more time for East. So I'm pretty laid back right now as far as not really stressing. I think we'll be just fine.
Good to hear.
Yeah, Austin, it's kind of interesting going from the Pro Circuit Cowie team to Triumph, and obviously Pro Circuit has been around for a long time and has tons of accolades and has a lot of factory support, but this Triumph team truly is, you know, a real factory team and factory support, like that you guys are focusing on developing a bike. How has that transition been to like, hey, like we're a team that's paid by Cowie to be a team, and we're Pro Circuit to be that team going to Triumph to be like, hey, we're trying to develop this motorcycle to be the best it can be?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like a little bit, I mean, different. Like at this point, it's still early enough, you know, with Triumph that they're still figuring out, you know, some things with the bike that I feel like, I guess I wouldn't even say that, because at Pro Circuit we would have the same struggles whenever they would come out with a new bike, like a new year model. It's kind of the same struggles. So I guess in that way they're a lot more ahead than I thought they would be at this point. Like as far as I feel like at Pro Circuit we had a lot of the struggles that I guess we're kind of having on Triumph right now, but just whenever we would come out with a new bike, like just a new, and Cowie has a new bike this year. So, like I've gone through a couple new bikes with, as far as like new model years and updates and stuff like that with Cowie, and the things that we struggled on in with those new bikes are kind of the similar things that we're I guess going through with Triumph right now. So it's not, I thought it was going to be a much bigger struggle than it has been. But I mean, that's the thing, is like everything. I feel like the personnel on Triumph are really good, and they really know what they're doing, because every day, like, I don't really feel like yet we've reached like a point where we're like, like, I don't know what to do right now, you know, like as you do in testing or developing new bikes and stuff, you kind of get to man, like, okay, well, where do we go from here? You try this, you try that. It makes this better. It makes this worse. And you kind of just chase your tail, go in circles for a little bit. I don't really feel like I don't know. I can't think of a day so far that we've had like that. I mean, yeah, we've had some things that we didn't like, but then like it was like one change, maybe two, and that fixed pretty much the whole issue. So we haven't really. It's been pretty. That's what I say. It's been pretty, I guess, laid back as far as just the development of the bike. I feel like it would have been harder, especially with only 1 year, a whole new team. All of us other riders coming on. I just figured there would be a lot more, I guess, hiccups kind of in the program than there is. Like it's been, like I said, it's been pretty low key, pretty mellow, pretty smooth sailing so far. So I mean, yeah, if that continues, then the bike's just only going to get better, and I'm going to get better, and I feel like I'm already, we're already sitting pretty good right now, I think.
Awesome. Love it.
You touched on earlier, like you, obviously, anybody that knows your career, you started off at Reynolds for a long time, and then you were out west, and now you're back at a training facility, put air quotes up or whatever. How is that different? Do you think now that you've done both and you're back into that, do you thrive better in that, or more of a free form, I'm going to go ride tracks kind of a deal?
I don't know. It's I guess a little bit of both. Like I definitely prefer. I mean, it's hard to say because California doesn't really have facilities like this.
Right.
So, it's like most of the training facilities are all good dirt. So it's hard to say. Like sometimes I do like to go do my own thing and get out and go ride different tracks and stuff. And like one thing that I was doing a lot with Rhino is we would just go out by ourselves some days and, be out by ourselves riding, not without anybody else, to where you didn't have guys breathing down your neck. Even if like, it doesn't matter if you're on the track at the same time with any of your teammates, you're looking at them like you're seeing where they are, and you're worrying about going fast rather than so much technique things. And that's in some ways, that's some of the, I needed to work on some of those things, like, especially whenever I was working with Rhino, like, that's a lot of the things we were working on. So in a way, I kind of like that a little bit better, just because we're always, we all pretty much ride together out here. So we're always kind of starting motos together and doing stuff like that. And some days I like to kind of do my own thing, and it's kind of harder to do that like here because we only have 2 Supercross tracks at the facility, and I mean they only prep one a day, so there's somebody out on the track basically at all times. It's not like I can really go out there by myself and do that. So in a way, I guess I prefer that about California, but I mean that's a very that's a small, I guess, price to pay for all of the other positives. There's a lot of other positives. Like I mean, that's and like in that way, I've just kind of had to figure out like, hey, if those guys are catching me a little bit in my moto or on the track or whatever, like, and I feel like there's some things I need to work on technique wise that I need to slow down a little bit, then so be it. Like, let them catch me.
Right.
That's kind of the only thing I've had to, I guess, make an adjustment for. But all the other positives, I guess, outweigh that one. I don't even want to say negative, but just, thing that I would like to do every now and then, I guess.
Sure. Austin Forkner tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing.
So the last crash you had that put you out for the season was super gnarly. Then you had that the brain surgery after that. Did you ever get close to like retiring to say you're over it?
I mean, yeah. That's kind of, pretty much every moto guy, if you ask them, like, directly after you have a crash, you have a surgery, you're like, man, I'm over this. Like, that like, right after, you're like, I'm over it. But this one was, I did get pretty scared with this one just because of how, like, gnarly the crash was and how gnarly it looked. Like, I remember watching it kind of like early the next morning, about like before I was about to get discharged from the hospital. And I kind of like broke down a little bit because I was like, man, that was one of the gnarliest crashes I've ever seen. And that was me. And I obviously I didn't remember it. So I was like me watching this for the first time. And I was like, dude, like I'm lucky I didn't die with that one, basically, like that's kind of how serious that's how gnarly it looked anyway.
Yeah.
And
I was there, Austin. I can confirm it was scary.
Yeah. So that kind of, like I said, the injuries from the crash, yeah, they were bad. I broke some stuff in my back and my shoulder, and obviously was concussed super bad, but that wasn't that, like, it wasn't really the injuries that I was like, man, I'm over, like, I can't take this anymore, which, yeah, those breaking your back's never good, even though it wasn't, a vertebrae still, but it wasn't really that. It was kind of just like, damn, like, it was kind of like how much more do I want to keep pushing this?
Yep.
Because that one could have killed me, basically. Like that, like, I mean, not like I was super, close to it, like, as far as injury wise, but just how that looked. Like, I talked to Dr. G after, when I kind of started feeling better, and I went in to see him, and he was like, dude, if that would have been dirt, which, I mean, it's kind of 50-50. Sometimes they put dirt all the way to the edge. Sometimes they leave it concrete. At the races, it's kind of just whatever, different, varies from stadium to stadium. But he was like, if that was dirt, which a lot of people were saying, oh, why wasn't it dirt? That should have been dirt. But he told me that if that was dirt, there's a good chance I probably would have actually, like, either, been paralyzed or dead or something. Because I would have caught instead of kind of skipped across the concrete. Those transverse processor things that broken my back, or he said those happen a lot with street biking accidents where you kind of skip across the concrete.
Yeah.
But he said when you break your back is when you, like, hit and catch, and then, like, you kind of compress and then you twist. So, like, if that would have been dirt and I would have landed like that and kind of stuck and twisted or just, caught instead of kind of skipped across the concrete, he said that could have been he was like, that would have been really bad. So it was kind of that side of things that I was kind of dealing with just like, man, I did get lucky this time, but, like, I mean, that it's kind of like, how much more do I want to keep pushing this? So I don't want to say I was ever, I mean, it wasn't like I was, I guess really, really pondering on it, I guess, retirement. I was just kind of like, man, I just want to take this one kind of slow. And then the whole brain deal popped up. And then, I mean, that was a whole nother thing, but that did kind of put into perspective for me of why that crash happened, because if that crash hadn't happened, I mean, at this point, I could have died from that. Like that was a whole nother deal that, if that crash hadn't have happened, we might not have found out about that. And, I mean, my surgeon said that it was pretty close to something happening with that, that once those blood vessel things, they get to a certain size, they can bleed. And when they bleed, that can cause, I mean, there's a number of things that can cause strokes, seizures, aneurysms, or, I mean, essentially death. Those are kind of like a bunch of the side effects from that, or the things that can happen. So, and he was like, you were kind of any day now. Like, so it's a good thing that we really did take that out when we did, and or that it didn't, rupture or something like that happened in the crash. Like that was kind of crazy that didn't happen, that it didn't do it in the crash or whatever too. So, it was just that did put it into perspective. That kind of, I guess, yes, you would think brain surgery right after would have made it worse, but if anything, it made it a little bit better, because I was like, man, like, that did happen for a reason. So I shouldn't be asking why. I should be saying thanks.
Yeah,
basically.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Let me ask you this: since last time you were on, you talked a lot about that and the emotion. You've talked about the emotional side and the mental side and even the physical side. So when you go to throw a leg back over the bike for the first time, what was that day like, or even the first couple of days? Was there a little second guessing? Was there a little extra caution? I have to imagine it wasn't like just a normal day. We're like, all right, let's go throw some laps in. You were probably a little tentative.
Yeah. I actually, my first day back, nobody even knows, but I went out to Elsinore and rode my 2-stroke.
Yuck.
Because this was kind of when we started, doing contract negotiations and stuff. And it was looking like I might not be with Cowie. I was like, I was at, like, I just wasn't sure. I didn't want to, I just wasn't sure what was going on. But I was like, I want to go ride. And before I sign another contract or commit to anything, like, I just want to go do some laps and see how I feel. And I mean, it was pretty, I guess, uneventful in the way that I was like, okay, I'm fine. It was like I rode and like I was hesitant at first. I didn't want to, I was hesitant about it. Like anything, you do a knee, you do a leg thing, you don't want to dab your foot, you do a shoulder, you don't want to go down on your shoulder or whatever. So that was the same thing. I didn't want to tip over and hit my head or whatever, but yeah, I mean that it was pretty uneventful, I guess, in a way that I was like, okay, yep, I'm good, let's go.
Good.
Basically, that's kind of all it was I was like, okay, yep, I am good to go. And then it was kind of then I got out here and I started riding even more out here, and I mean, it really hasn't really been much of everybody's like, oh, how's your head? How does it feel riding? How does everything? I mean, it feels normal. I don't feel any.
Did that surprise you at all that you felt that normal that fast?
Not. I think that it surprised everyone else, like even my surgeon, like, and everybody. I think that it surprised just because you think coming from brain surgery, like it's going to be, and it was gnarly, but like the actual brain surgery itself was crazy. They ended up pulling my brain out of my head and all this, like it was wild surgery. But after, it actually wasn't that bad. Like I was only on pain pills for a couple days just to keep kind of the headaches chill. Got off of that, just started taking, ibuprofen and stuff. And the recovery process itself was actually pretty easy. Like I was ready to go like 2 weeks after, maybe not ride entirely, but I was ready to, start cycling and start working out and start doing, I had to wait just because, the doctor was like, dude, you just had like brain surgery. You need to chill for a little bit.
Take it easy,
let this thing heal up. But honestly, the recovery process was actually pretty easy. So in that way, I guess before surgery, yes, I was surprised that I felt like that so quick. And just everybody, you think of brain surgery, yes, that. But after, with how I felt kind of immediately after and stuff, and how quick I got out of the hospital and everything, I wasn't really surprised that I felt normal, I guess, after. But from the outside looking in, and to everybody else, even my surgeon included, like, he was like, man, like I recover quickly, basically. That kind of was the which I've known that, obviously, that's what all my doctors say from every surgery I've had. Man, you recover quick and all these things. But I mean, this one just, I guess, further proved that, and that's kind of what the doctor was. I was out of the hospital in, I think, like a day and a half or 2 days, and I was supposed to be there for like 4 or 5 days. And they just let me immediately out of the ICU. Like, he was like, you don't even need a room. Like, you don't even need to go to like a normal room. You're good to go. You're the quickest recovering patient I've ever had. And yeah, really have had no real big issues since then. So I guess to me, no, I wasn't that surprised with how I felt riding at first, just because of how I kind of felt after surgery.
Okay, good.
So,
just a couple more for you.
So you brought up earlier you went and rode your 2-stroke, and being that you like obviously you like to ride other bikes than just your race bike, have you got to try the 450 out for the tri-pads yet?
No, they they did their whole like release thing of it this week. Everybody was out there, like a bunch of different countries and media and all that stuff, and they were all riding it.
You didn't take a lap?
Chance to ride it. I am pretty curious though. Like I was talking to Ricky about it and stuff, and just talking to some of the guys there about how it felt and stuff. So I am curious how it feels. I kind of wish I would have, but whatever. We were on Supercross. I was doing my thing, so whatever. I mean, I'm sure there'll be plenty more chances. But yeah, it does. From what Ricky said, it seems pretty good, and from what a lot of the guys that rode it say that for a brand new just motorcycle, like whole new everything, they said it was pretty damn good from what I'm hearing, I guess.
So we know that you would never ride it again while you're under contract, but what 2-stroke were you riding before you were with Triumph?
my Cowie.
Oh, okay.
I just had my Cowie 250 2-stroke. And yeah, it was I just went out to Elsinore. I kind of just snuck out and went to the vet track on like a random like Wednesday or something when there would be, I knew that there wouldn't really be very many people out there, and just did some laps by myself.
What,
So, yeah, it was
what year is that, Cowie?
07.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Last year.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
All
cool.
right.
Last one.
Let's do a couple Vital MX forum questions, and then we'll let you go. BS12 says, do you still believe you can be the top dog in the 250s?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I do. Even though I'm on a new bike, I actually have it screenshotted that this one dude, he said I'm never going to win again on one of my Instagram posts or something after I announced riding for Triumph, or at some point he said, if I get off Cowie, I'm never going to win again. So whenever I do win, I'm going to post that guy up and make him look like an idiot on Instagram.
All right.
Because so yes, I do believe I still can.
Yeah, and I think that bike is good enough to win. I mean, Jalek had some really he had underrated rides last year. He was way better than some of his results. The bike is good. I trust Chris Kiefer and what he says about it. So yeah, I think you're going to be everybody's going to be surprised this year, I think. Couple more. Flatliner says, do you plan on getting your YouTube going again as well as your merch?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I just, obviously Gas, my filmer / roommate that I had in California, he stayed out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of, and, filmers and stuff are a lot harder to find out here than they are in California. In California, you go to any track on any day, you run into a filmer and say, hey, can you make me an edit? And they're there.
Yeah.
Here it's a lot, they're far and few in between. So, yes, I do plan on getting the YouTube videos back up and running. I know people enjoyed those. It's just, I mean, right now it's been hectic. Like, we got moved into our house. Obviously Riley's pregnant and she's had to find new doctors and get that stuff sorted out. And we got to move into the house, obviously, and then getting the whole program riding wise up and going and all that stuff. So it's been hectic, and posting some videos on YouTube definitely has not been a priority
Sure.
of mine right now. So that, I mean, yes, I do intend on not just stopping, but we got to find filmers and stuff like that. So that just it's been on the back burner right now,
9bro9 from the forum says, do you work with mental health coaches to maintain a positive outlook with the setbacks you've experienced? You've proven not much can keep you away from the sport. How do you continue to bounce back?
Yeah, I have seen some mental coaches before, not for really very, I feel like, my mental coaches have just been trainers, in the past. Like, I feel like Robbie was one of the best mental coaches I had, just because he went through similar things, to me, in his career. And he's kind of been there, done that, and worked through those. So I would always talk to him a lot about just, stuff like that. Rhino, I mean, he's been through some similar things. So he was good to talk to, each in kind of different ways. But, I have seen some mental coaches, but, and they did give me like some kind of, breathing things to do, or things to keep my mind present and not think about past or future things. But it's kind of different. Like, I can explain to them the things that I'm dealing with, or the things, but they don't really get it, because this is a pretty specialized, pretty, like, rare sport, or I guess these are kind of rare, I guess, issues, kind of, or problems, or just things to deal with in this sport. And they're pretty, the highs are high and the lows are very, very low. So it's kind of different than any other sport in that way. So it's kind of like mental coaches I don't feel like they quite do it for me. Like, I feel like you have to, it's guys, you have to talk to the guys that have kind of been through it, and that they can help you out a little bit. But honestly, you just gotta kind of be tough yourself and figure it out. Like, it was funny. I was reading this book that I got, and it was this dude who used to like mental coach like Kobe and a bunch of those guys. And I don't remember the name of the book, but it was this dude just talking about, the mental things and stuff like that he would do with some of the top like athletes like that. And
Yep.
I found myself laughing reading it just because of the ways that like they thought the things that they think are gnarly in basketball, like that. Oh, this dude, he tore his knee, but then he shot a free throw. He did this, but then he did this before he walked off. He shot his shots before he walked off the court. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
The stuff that we did, like, and just the injury side of things and the mental things that they talked about, like in that book, it almost made me chuckle reading it in a couple parts about like that's kind of I guess light work in a way compared to the stuff that I feel like we go through in moto.
I feel that.
He didn't bounce off of concrete at 30 miles an hour. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Last question. This one is mine. I was just going through your Instagram, and maybe it's just the way the photos look, but do you wear a tinted lens sometimes in your goggles when you're riding Supercross?
Yeah. I mean, any day that it's sunny out, I wear tinted lenses. I feel like I've always kind of been a little light sensitive, and then kind of getting over like LASIK and stuff.
Yep.
I feel like I'm even like a little bit more sensitive to light as of recently. It's getting better, but especially when I first started riding and kind of getting outside and stuff again, I was pretty sensitive to it. But yeah, I've always really wore. I don't obviously in races at night, in the stadiums and stuff, I wear clear lenses. But for any time I'm outside and it's a sunny day, then yeah, I'm definitely wearing tinted lenses.
Okay.
I've pretty much always done that.
Even that I think is a little unusual for pros. It seems like most wear clear, but there was a couple Supercross night races where the photos, it looked like it was a tinted lens, but it might have just been the way the lighting was. So
I think it's probably lighting, and sometimes they put on like stacks. They put on like 21.
Oh yeah,
or
sure.
Sometimes 4 stacks, 28 tear offs. Like, it makes the lens almost look tinted because it's so almost like foggy looking through it that it almost looks tinted. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So it honestly could have been a situation like that. And they always put my goggle guys always say that I'm the best. I'm the best person to make goggles for ever because I don't go through tear offs. I think I was thinking about that the other day, and I think it's because in practice I have to do my own tear offs. And so I just get used to like, unless I just can't see, I just don't pull tear off.
Yeah,
so I'll go a whole main event and we'll have pulled if I get a whole shot like Detroit, I bet I didn't pull a tear off the whole race.
Yes.
And that's happened a lot of times. like even when I don't get a whole shot, there's still been situations where the guy, he's like, dude, you didn't pull one tear off. And I'm like, dude, I didn't need to. I guess I have to do my own goggles at home, so I'm not pulling tear off unless I can't see anything.
Darkside wouldn't understand that. We rode this weekend, and it was a light mist, and it was like outside a little bit of rain, and like he kept coming and going, I can't see anything. I got some water droplets on my goggles.
I said like once.
He constantly, I got water in my goggles.
You're a liar. He's lying, Austin.
I didn't think I did anything like Forkner on the bike.
Believe. I wasn't there. I don't know who to believe.
You can believe me.
It was hard to see, but
See, I'm telling you.
Shut up, man. Shut up, TJ.
Yeah, I didn't think I did anything on the bike like Forkner, but I also don't pull any tear offs.
Yeah, but that's because we are scared to take our hands off. Yeah, we're just scared. All right, Austin. Hey, first things first, congratulations to you and Riley on the baby coming, man. Super excited for you guys. But other than that, thank you for doing the show. Good luck this year. Really excited to see what you can do on Triumph, and really happy for you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm stoked. I've been happy with the change, especially get on the way. Happy to get out of California and get out here and live a small town life again. You know, like we don't even have we have one grocery store in the whole town and a couple restaurants, and that's it. They put a Chick-fil-A in, I guess, like a year ago, and that's like big news in the town. So that's the size of it, and I'm just fine with that. Track's good. I feel like program's good. So. Yeah, hopefully got a good year, so appreciate it.
Do me a favor. It won't be long, and I think Aiden Kiefer will be back out there spinning some laps. Just put him over a berm. Just, give him a little taste of what it's like at the pro level, and tell him it was from Darkside.
All right, yeah, I'll remind him of that whenever he's picking his bike up. I'll just say sorry. It wasn't me, and it wasn't personal.
Compliments of Mr.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that kid. So, yeah, thanks, Austin. Really appreciate you tonight.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, see ya. That's Austin Forkner tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. I am looking forward to seeing how he does this year. And I think he almost immediately gets back to his winning way.
Over under 3 wins.
Over. I'm going to go over.
Over.
Yep.
Even if he's in the same coast as Deegan.
I'm going to say yes because I already said it.
I think he's. I think he's on the same speed level.
Yeah.
And he's probably not gonna. Never mind. I was gonna say he probably is not gonna make any like youth bonehead moves, but we've seen him push the limits. When,
I
Some
don't think
of his
he's gonna.
crashes lately though haven't been necessarily his fault.
That one was just a freak.
It was.
That was
Jet, right? That took him out a couple years ago at Dallas, and then it's like
that one was that people are clipping that the whole time. He was just trying to go fast, like. I mean, it was a little bit of the track. I mean, he could have slowed down and it
I guess
not
he
happened,
was that one there, but I'm just saying,
he just got bit on that one.
Yeah.
I hope that they're on the same coast, but I'm betting that he's going to wind up on the East Coast.
I heard something about Deegan maybe doing East Coast.
Yeah, I think Hayden is right now. They're talking East.
That doesn't make
that'd
any
be
sense.
great.
Yeah, I don't think
he
I
needs
didn't
to do West.
You'd think he would.
He hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
This is probably his last Supercross season.
in the 250.
Well, in the 250,
Or
yeah.
ever.
Yeah. I think so.
Ever.
Like, I mean,
Come on, man. Use your brain.
well, no,
John Michelle Bale program.
you said it's probably his last Supercross season, and I made a joke.
What could that possibly have meant? That is his last
Then he's
Supercross
going to
season?
road bikes like JMB did.
Pro X is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They've been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. Pro X aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability, and you can find Pro X at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for parts for your bike. I've ordered a bunch of parts from those guys. If you guys are looking to do anything, I mean, we all ride. We all need parts. You're going to have these things wear out. Hit them up, pro-x.com. It's a great website with lots of quality parts, as they say, and the prices are good. And, yeah, they match OE quality
I'm
parts.
about to say they're just a lot of them are the factory pistons. They make factory pistons.
Yeah, they're really a top-notch website, and we appreciate them supporting us. So if you can order some stuff, order from Pro X to support the show. It means a lot. I want to jump into X Brand Forum check-in before we've got the Ryan Breece pre-recorded coming up, but let's do X Brand Forum check-in. X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, as well as motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, and many more. You can visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS. Get the goggles that champions are using?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
GNCC champions.
Champions and you.
I am definitely X Brand. I'm
And Supercross winners.
like me. Oh wait, no, that's incorrect. I have not won a Supercross.
Have you even entered one?
And you can't see in you
No.
you get little specks of water.
Are you going to do an arena cross?
Like a local one? You don't mean like AMA, right? Like, am I going to line up with Ryan Breece and KP?
No, they have plus 60
Yeah, I know.
classes or however old you are.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't.
Yeah, then
like,
you-
I would go
I don't
do that with you.
plan on it.
I thought that had come up at
Might
some
be a
point.
decent story.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it if it was if Vital wanted to send me to do it. I don't know
None
that.
of them are local.
Yeah, there's not a Texas round on that series this year.
No,
That's
it's
crazy.
ridiculous. They're like all out west.
Yeah.
And I think the closest they come this way is Loveland, and then it goes all the way to Daytona.
Timbuktu.
Would you guys go do one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about like a local one, like just Monroe or whatever? Is that something
Yep.
you guys
Graham.
would do?
Absolutely.
'Cause those things are.
I've already done one this year, or that was last year.
It was last year, yeah.
Yeah, last year.
In
Was that
Henderson.
last year?
In Henderson?
Yeah, I think it was
actually,
early
no, it
this
was
year.
this year.
It
It
was
was like
this
it
year.
was
this
like
year.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool series.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys are awesome.
Super laid back.
Yeah. Not well. I guess you liked the quads, but yeah, I could have done without the quads.
Yeah.
What they took like 2 minutes to go around the track, and then
No, there was a
it.
lot of. It seemed like I saw the same 3 kids on quads 8 times out.
I got
Oh my god!
I would definitely do one. I think it would be a cool story if Vital wanted to set that up or whatever. As far as just driving many hours to go to one, to do one. Like, it's definitely not on my schedule right now. I wouldn't be
go to
opposed
Reno
to it.
and make $100.
Didn't they used to always do one in Dallas and American Airlines?
They
I
used to.
think it's a different
American Airlines?
No, not American Airlines, but
I know they did it.
there's another series that'll be
Arena
there.
and stuff. But
GT.
Yeah, Mesquite. Yeah, GT I think comes there.
GT
they haven't in a couple years.
They never did
No,
one
they
in
were there
American.
They were there
Airlines.
last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Dallas is on that schedule this year.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think it had. I didn't realize. I thought it had been off the schedule for a little bit, but I'm not opposed to it. But I don't have any plans to, Scotty. Okay, X-Brand Forum check-in this week is titled 450 or 350, posted by @tryhard. I said I've had the chance to ride my friend's 18 350 SXF quite a bit this year, and I do way better on it than my 125. I will contribute most of that to just feeling more comfortable, not being wide open on the face of a jump. Oh, and also body positions seem to matter way less as well. So, okay, it's basically saying you can be lazier on a 4-stroke. That's very, very correct.
Checks out.
Yep. The 350 seemed super linear in terms of power. Not many times did I feel linear. That's correct.
Linear?
Linear is kind of like smooth, flat.
Linear?
Linear, yes.
You said linear.
Get him, TJ.
Yeah.
Get his ass.
I said linear.
You did say
linear.
I wonder.
I promise you it's linear.
He's actually right on this one.
Linear
Yes.
Yeah.
instead of linear.
Instead of
Yes.
linear.
Yeah, it's not linear. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to argue. You may be right. All right. I have also. You want to shut up?
Nope.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Okay, fine. I will shut you up. I have also had the opportunity to ride another friend's 450. I really love the power and will admit it will take some getting used to. I really hated the suspension on the 450. Okay. I'm 200 pounds, 5'10", C-class, 30 plus at best. Will the 350 be enough to keep me satisfied?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
This will be my first Austrian bike. I'm a little nervous about the air suspension. Thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. So, from my perspective, I've been on 2 separate 350s. For a vet average rider, your 30 plus C-class, I feel like it. And look, man, Yamaha sponsors this show. They are a title sponsor of the show, but the 350 package is ideal, in my opinion, for an average vet rider. There are other posts on this where people, a guy says like, oh, if you're listening to Vital, they're going to tell you have to spend thousands of dollars on all these other things, including suspension. Look, dude, I like the air suspension that comes on those bikes. I have zero issue with it. I am going to have Racetech do a spring conversion kit just so I can write about it and do a little test. But I think the air suspension that comes on these bikes is perfectly adequate for the way I ride as a 49-year-old C/B rider. It's a great bike. I don't feel like you need to do anything. Some of the things were suggested, they're going to tell you to put an exhaust on there.
No.
I don't see why. You need an exhaust. The bike is so freaking good in stock form. It took me a bit to adjust to the new frame, but that's because I was coming off a 450 Yamaha. It's just super different. After a few rides, then I was locked in, and I really, really like that bike. What say you, TJ?
I would say I've owned a 350. The greatest thing about the 350, especially for a vet, slower rider, or not top level, is if you need more out of it, don't shift. You just let it rev because it builds really smooth, controllable power off bottom like a 250, and then it just keeps going. If you have a 350 and you haven't just stayed in third gear going down a straightaway and let it get all the way to the rev limiter, you haven't experienced how good a bike could be. Those bikes have so much power up top. And as far as the suspension goes, for us, the like casing something or coming up short on something, the absorption of the air fork is second to none.
JT had that Husky with the forks he had done, and that's some of the best suspension. I don't like the air forks, but that was some of the best suspension I've ridden. And with the 350 versus a 450, you can ride so much longer. You can
that's another thing.
Push a lot harder because you're not
it feels
arm
lighter.
pump.
Yeah, it's not scary.
They're a lot more flickable. Like you can toss them around a little bit. They feel good in corners. Like I would definitely do a 350 over a 450.
I would probably enjoy all the benefits of a 350 that y'all are talking about, but for just some reason I don't like riding on the high end of the power. I really like to lug. Like I like riding in third gear and just kind of powering out of everything.
I don't rev it out like they say you're supposed to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I probably would, but the one time I've rode a 350, I was glad I had a 450.
What year?
It was the same year that I have my 450 of. It was
17. They've gotten
Yeah,
better.
it's way better. But like, you can ride those like a 250 or a 125 and rev the shit out of them and ride them all out.
That's what.
But then you can also shift up and just lug it like I do and be kind of lazy.
To answer his question, though, he is definitely going to enjoy it a lot more than a 125.
Yes,
Like
125 is so much work.
Jamie
They're
at Twisted's
fun,
getting with an ECU pipe and
I don't think
fuel.
you need to do any
I
of
know you
that.
don't,
This
but
guy's a
if he wants
C-class
to
rider.
lug it like that, you can sit it up,
Dude,
get an ECU.
you say
pipe,
that,
and it's.
But I've seen a guy in the C class with you with rear suspension starting launch.
Yeah, but they don't need it. Is the point?
But if
They might
he's racing a guy
want
that
it.
has it,
Dude,
that's
okay.
how it's not. That's
That
how it
race
works.
was at Billadilla, right?
Yeah.
Where I got second and almost won.
Yeah.
So that guy with all that shit didn't matter.
Well, he was the guy that beat you.
That's just his hobby.
Well, no,
That's
I don't
what he
think-
likes
I don't
spending
think
his
it
money
was.
on.
Yeah.
But the point is you don't need to put a bunch of money into those
No.
bikes. Any of the bikes really nowadays.
That's the truth.
Even the Suzuki, the Kickstarter of Suzuki is just fine. But yeah.
My suggestion would be
350.
get a 350, and
So
you
much
really
fun.
don't have to do shit to
And
it.
the resale value, it holds
Yep,
its
it
resale
sure
value
does.
better than any 450 ever because half of the people are scared of 450s and people think they need more than a 250, which most people don't. And the 350s.
I'm faster on a 250.
now,
sure.
I will say, if you choose to go 450, then you should get a Yamaha. Yamaha Motor USA. Yamaha Motor USA.
But you're not right. It's not even because they're a sponsor. I can tell you right now
Yeah,
that Yamaha 450 is probably the best 450 out
Yeah,
there.
and you can tune that quite a bit. You can actually tune it way down and make it very close to a 350. But overall, I think the engine package of a 350 is really the ideal engine package for just a vet rider that just goes out and races for fun a little bit. You know, like myself. It's really, really good. Hopefully Yamaha's not mad about that, but that's just honestly how I feel.
Well, they'll make one. If they made one, it would probably be better.
I agree. Okay, let's jump to Barnett Clutch's Clutch Performance of the Week. Barnett Dirt Digger Clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger Clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. You can get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off. If you're riding a lot, you're going to need a clutch eventually. Get the best. Barnett Clutches. Support the show. Save that money. The code to save that 10% is VitalMX, all caps. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com is our email. If you have any questions, you want any about the stuff or any of these codes, hit us up. Let us know. Okay, anybody want to do Barnett Clutches kit, Clutch Performance of the Week first?
I mean, mine is pretty easy.
Okay.
Doc, running away in that B race. I know it. People may not get it, but I mean, the kids had some struggles over the last few years, and to just and the first night he had some struggles just mentally, like not like he was having mental problem, but like just to, you know what, I just gotta. The next night he said, I just gotta ride the bike. I gotta quit thinking, ride the bike, and he did. Almost made the main. I think it was almost better for him to make that B and just
Get a
run
little
away.
confidence.
Yeah.
Like you could say he was just rolling the whoops at the last two laps and still won by 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Was the purse decent on that or
$100.
$100?
$100.
I thought I'd get more than that.
But he
Good job, Doc.
That's $100. That's more.
It gave
It's
him 3
$100
points.
more than I've ever made racing.
TV
so-
time.
It gave him 3 points. Towards
There
his,
you go.
A little bit of confidence. It's a good
Yeah.
thing. That was my clutch performance too.
Okay, Scotty, got
I
one?
would go Cooper Webb,
Okay.
the king of Bercy,
did such a great
or
job.
king of
King
Paris.
of Paris.
I told you I was going to say it.
All right, I'm going to go Anthony Bourdon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paris
He did
Supercross?
super good.
That's a really good one too.
Yep. 3-4-2 night 1, 3-3-3 night 2, and I think second overall. Bud Racing's Anthony Bourdon. Again, I mean the French fans were going nuts anyway. So just really impressive. He's usually good at those races.
Has he been doing America Supercross? I think.
I think
okay.
yes. He's been racing some in America. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, very impressed with that. Good job to him. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I told you guys at the beginning of the show, if you're listening and maybe didn't catch it, Ryan Breece is pre-recorded. I'm gonna play that audio while that's playing. If you're watching live on YouTube or even watching later in YouTube, the four of us are gonna sit here and chat with the forum member or the chat room members. And so there should be some video. Are we gonna just roll the pictures the whole time?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll throw some photos
It's
up.
your show. You tell me.
Yeah, just going to roll it, and then we'll sit here and jump in and have some fun with the YouTube listeners. So, enjoy this. Our next guest of the night is going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by Muck Off, FXR, Club MX, Yamaha, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, and many more. FXR has core motor roots. So visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and check out the complete line of FXR. Tonight, FXR brings us MCR Honda's Ryan Breece. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going, Darkside? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, man. It's been a little bit, and the last time we talked, I was on Pulp, and you weren't totally stoked with me at the end of the night. So we're going to move on past that and have a better interview tonight.
There we go, man. Yeah, always good to hear from you. That was a good.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you, man. We are first 2 rounds of the AMA Arena Cross Series over, and I want to get into all that. But first, I want to just talk about the new team, man. Moto Concepts Racing, Honda. That was new for you. I think the first race with them was the first round of World Supercross. So just talk about how that deal came about and how it's been working with Mike Genova and Tony Alessi.
Well, first off, it's been amazing. Really has. It takes a lot of burden off of me. I mean, we know my whole years I've been doing it on my own, and to try to gather 30, 40 sponsors and go do racing on your own is not ideal, but it's always kind of been the way that I've had to go. And now that I've got a team behind me with the MCR guys, it's been more than welcoming, and I actually really gelled with the bike right away. It's just getting those little seconds that we need to get clicked off, get a little bit more comfortable, but all around, good bike. I like the team, and we're excited to keep on racing.
Yeah, everything I've ever heard about Tony is if you need something, he will do everything humanly possible to make sure you get what you need or are comfortable. If it's not possible, I think he'll tell you, but he'll do his damnedest to make it happen.
Yeah, that man's on the phone more than we're even talking. So for us to sort things out that we need, and any part on the bike or anything, it's crazy just the tactic that he has and the pull that he can get and what he can see is it's unique to the team, and I think that's what brings a whole new spark to the team. And he gathers information, and he's got eyes like a hawk. He's done it with his boys, obviously, and Mike being a freaking animal racer, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. So World Supercross round 1, I don't know what your expectations were going into that. I think you're probably still getting used to the team and the bike and getting comfortable. But yeah, did you come away from that first round in Canada, was it Vancouver? Did you come away from that frustrated, learning something? Like how'd you feel at the end of the night?
I figured the first couple races are going to be a little bit more just an adaptable change for me, like just trying to figure out how the bike works under the racing circumstances, because we all know practice is completely different. So for me, I was just like, let's just take some good things out of it and keep on learning with the bike and stuff. I mean, I've been riding a Yamaha for the past 4 or 5 years, and that bike is completely different. Yeah, all the stock bikes, they're good right out of the floor, but they all have different variables that are good on the bikes, right? So the Honda, you got to ride a little bit different, and I've still been trying to get used to that. You got to ride up front. It turns really good, and it's almost like it's a too good of a turning where the Yamaha didn't have that, but it has a little bit more torque. And just like out of Vancouver when we left, I mean, I wasn't too satisfied, but at the same time, like I'm still learning the bike. The team was just like, hey, you did what you could do, and I really don't think an 8th at the last moto was really that bad, to be honest with you. So just collecting a little bit more data, race information, so we can get going on these the next 2025 year and start making some goals and checking the list off.
Yeah, I want to dive into the difference in the bikes just a little bit more, because our listeners, we see that on Vital a lot, where people ask questions about what's different about this bike and from this bike, and what bike should I choose, et cetera, in the stock form. And you talked about the turning and the Honda has always kind of had a reputation for having some head shake and just being like we've seen Chase in the past tuck the front and guys tucking the front. Do you feel any of that? Do you feel it's a little less stable and that you're really having to work to get it more stable compared to the way the Yamaha was? Or just what are the other things that you're working on to get comfortable?
Yeah, I do feel that. And the thing is that the bike turns so dang good, and it almost overturns.
Yeah.
You know, so we've been trying some SCP stuff, some braces and whatnot, and doing a lot of testing with that because, you know, I ride more towards the back of the bike on a Yamaha. And with that, you can turn the rear just fine because it needs to turn because the front radius isn't sharp. You know, you really have to get into the Yamaha in order for it to turn sharp. And with this Honda, it already is turning sharp, you know? So that is like the biggest thing, I think, for me, where you got to ride the bike a little different.
Yep.
You know, like the jet style, standing up, and the knife of the bike. I can see where Chase Sexton has had his hard time with the turning and washing the bike out because that is a real feeling. That does feel like that. But yeah, we've been just testing some stuff and figuring out a little bit more of a variety. I'm on the 24. I'm not on the 25 yet.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stay with the 24 as well. Just the parts are limited, and yeah, that's just how it is for me. But yeah, I'm thankful just to have a team under me. You know, it's been a long time, so that's unreal for me.
Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and then you know that the biggest difference also, man, that there was so much torque on the 450 Yamaha, where you know you could just let that clutch eat and pop a triple. Where the Honda, you need to carry the momentum and let the bike turn itself, and then you can use the power. But yeah, it's been a different feeling, that's for sure. It's an adjustment.
Well, yeah, it always is when you go from one bike to the other. So it does take some time, and you know, we're still early in the Arena Cross series, and of course, we're pre-recording this because you're getting on an airplane here in a few hours to head to Australia for round 2 of World Supercross. How do you like that series so far? You've done it before. It's almost Arena Crossy from a viewer standpoint because it's a smaller Supercross type track, usually a little more hard packed. It seems like. So, are you enjoying the series so far? Is it something that you know you're taking to?
Yeah, I really like the format. I mean, I think the format is the biggest thing for us, where we know that we can be competitive, and it's just finding that start and getting in the mix with those people in the first couple laps, and then. You know, with the format, how it's the 8-8-12-12 deal. That's just, it's sprint laps all the time, and that's what suits my style. I think it's a good race format operation that they've got going on, and yeah, it's just, I mean, the schedule is great, right? I mean, we show up Friday, do a little ride, and then it's racing Saturday, Sunday, or just Saturday, depending. But yeah, man, the bags are packed to Australia. I think we're ready to go. I've got my start styled. Though we had to be on a dirt start last weekend at Arena Cross. We've been great starting the whole time, and yeah, I think we're ready to get it done. You know, we want to keep on fighting towards that goal, and my main goal, man, I want to be that 5 to 7 area. I think that's doable for me, and I don't have high expectations, but at the same time, I want to be comfortable racing, and that's what I got to get to.
Yeah, and hopefully this weekend, I don't know if they've changed the format where I heard they might be trying to give you guys a little more time in between races, you know, because it's kind of back to back the way they've been doing it. And I don't think any of the riders really love that. There's no time if you have a bike issue. So, yeah, we'll see what happens up in Australia this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And Vancouver was pretty gnarly, too. I mean, you practice that in a practice simulation, but it's way different, man. Like, you have 2 minutes of rest time, and then you're already back loading up on the gate, right? And that's a quick change. Obviously, it's hard to get your heart rate down and just kind of be into that tempo to get back on the gate and find your mind ready for the next race. I think that's probably the hardest part for the racers, it seems. I mean, myself including, but
yeah,
as a sprinter and a guy who lasts that 10 to 20 minutes, you know, that's doable. I mean, it's racecrafty, which is nice. It's a battle all the time.
Absolutely. Well, talking about a battle all the time, rounds 1 and 2 were last weekend in Reno for AMA Arena Cross. You're back. Look, we talked in the press conference last year. Could have very easily went your way to become a champion. You lost the title by 5 points, but I believe you had 2 more wins than Kyle Peters. There was just a couple rounds that didn't go your way. You talked about the flat tire and a few little things, but that title battle last year was intense. And I know you're coming into this year wanting a little redemption. Yeah,
of course. You know, and I think my main thing is I just want to keep winning races. it pays my bills that way, right? So losing is not the direction that I'd like to go, and it makes it a little bit more fun when you're also winning. So I had a really good off season. I'm fit. I'm ready to just keep on competing and battling with these guys. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, you don't want to be battling. You want to get out front and go, but the tracks are so tight. There's a little bit more competition, which is cool. Like my teammate Vince, he's coming in. He won the Friday night, which was awesome to see for him. But you know, in my thoughts and practicing and being prepared and ready, like I'm the guy that can win and will win. I feel like I just have the determination and drive, and I also now have a good team behind me where in the years prior, I've always done it on my own. So I think that's really suitable for me. I can show up to the races and just focus on what I need to do to get the job done. So it's important to have that structure.
Absolutely. Ryan Breece tonight, brought to you by FXR. Let's talk about round one just a little bit. Practice had an incident with Freeze where I think you were already committed, and you end up landing on him. Just nothing obviously intentional. That was scary though, but it could have really ended your season or started your season off really poorly right away. That was a scary one though.
Yeah, that was a different deal, right? Like we went triple, and I think he went double, and was on the right side, but I was already committed into tripling, and then veered left, and I had nowhere to go, and it's just one of those deals, right? That's just what happens. But Friday did not go as planned at all, and I think. Like looking back at the tape, I raced the racetrack like it was time qualifying. It's heaters all the time, and but the track dried out pretty bad. There wasn't any water on there, and it was more of a one line. You got to find your way maybe through the whoops or set up in a quick corner. But it was the kind of follow the leader on the track situation of the layout. So yeah, I had a gnarly incident actually in Main 1, and we got checked out. It's not the best news, but I'm just like, I'm going with it. I'm racing, and that's what we have to deal with. And hopefully I can get better along soon. But yeah, we all know we have to race through injuries to keep on racing, and that's what I'll be doing, sadly. But I did turn it around Saturday night. I got some good rest and iced up in a little bit. And, that was a better night for us. Yeah, getting an overall win and some main wins. That's awesome. Yeah, I think you went 1-4 for first overall, if I'm not mistaken, on night 2. But the night 1 is. I want to talk. So I had some people kind of reach out to me, and I was asking questions. Like, hey, is the bike okay? What can you guys find out? And what I was getting is your mechanic was working his ass off from both your incidences during the race, right? Heat race and main 1. And the guy commented that was sending me the messages like, hey man, Ryan's like staying super calm, very professional. Like you were able to kind of keep that heart rate level, right? You didn't freak out. You just kind of didn't panic, it sounds like. And he said you were very professional and very composed, and I like that. Yeah, that's cool. With those layouts that they have, with the kind of back-to-back mains, it's not crazy back. We've got 10, 15 minutes, but yeah, that stuff just happens, and you listen to the greatest of all time players of basketball and football and how you coordinate and cooperate with what happens. And it was just it was a fault by myself, and there's no blaming anybody. It's just, I had a mistake and it cost me, and it cost my mechanic big time, man. Big shout out to Aaron, my guy, because he was wrenching on that bike all night. And I felt absolutely bad because I wasn't spraying champagne on him that night either.
Well, he got it night 2, so good job there. A couple other things I just wanted to touch on. First of all, I was very impressed watching you. Night 1, I noticed like a lot of guys were going outside before the whoops, and then you started changing lanes. You were the first one that I saw on TV really start changing up lines and looking for different opportunities and still crushing it on the inside of those whoops. So, yeah, I was very impressed with your racecraft. Now, I did hear... Yeah, and go ahead.
I felt like you have to really nitpick that track. When it's a hard-packed base, they didn't start throwing water on that track until... That was Friday before we got there. They started watering the track. So we already kind of knew it was going to be a little dry, but I almost thought it would be soft. It hardened up pretty bad. So you had to be riding a little bit more soft and smooth rather than just lay it all on the line. And then more thoughtful, right? Like just thinking about where you can cut the track time down a little bit. And that's where it was. It was more so the inside that I had a race prior was that Dash for Clash, and I had seen Bogle go inside and absolutely belligerate number 4 for Bitterman. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that kind of sucks, man. But you know what? That's a good line, right? It's a good line. Just, I'll play it safe. I don't need to hit anybody, but I can also like duck underneath, and just finding those little lines where I can still manage the rear traction control on it, and then still have leverage so I can have get the speed to run through the whoops. And I think that benefited me for the main one, put me in a good position, and was able to get that win. But obviously, like when we went main 2, it was whoever got us started.
Yeah.
It really was. Like I was in 4, trying to get to 3, and then man, it was follow the leader, sadly.
Yeah, it was. And I think a lot of guys complained about the track. And, you know, I mean, that happens, right? There's certain tracks, certain dirt that just doesn't get prepped properly. And, you know, we'll go on to the next round and hopefully it'll be better. I heard that maybe Phoenix Honda protested you. They say cutting the track because you went inside that tough block that seemed to get out in the track about every other lap anyway.
Yeah, I had heard, I had seen like the number 1 bitching, right? Like that's he's been doing that all the time, and it's pretty funny, right? Like when he's not winning. But hey, we all have our things. Like when you knock the hay bale out in the middle of the track, you're not going to just go around it because there's also a white paint that has perimeter of the track too. So if the hay bale's in the middle of the track, what are you supposed to do? You're going to go around that hay bale that's in the middle, or are you going to ride kind of what they have as the bookmarkers on the track? You know?
Sure.
So that is where I was playing it a safe game, and that would be my contradictory to what the line was. I wasn't cutting the track, just I was using the white line as a bookmarker, and I think I did that one lap. And I mean, where else are you going to do, right? Like, and by all means, that tough block was in the middle. He didn't go around the middle tough block either. So
right.
It was a fine line, and they were moving that tough block every single 3 laps.
Yep.
So we never knew where it was. And that's just kind of what happened, right? Like you see the night 1 where you got a couple of guys who are leading or jumping over the tough block.
Oh, really?
To make passes.
Yeah.
No names involved, but yeah, it's funny how it works, right?
It's all part of it, man. You know, yeah. I mean, the protest, that's just, you know, I guess guys are going to do that. You got to get every advantage you can sometimes, but I thought it was funny. Yeah, that tough block was out in the track about every other lap. So, yeah. Let's do a couple Vital MX Forum questions from some of our listeners before we let you go here. Let's see here. Well, I've got one guy wants to know if you'll ever CDA 331 wants to know if you'll ever race outdoors again.
You know, I've always contemplated racing the outdoors, but it just doesn't seem fitting to me.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. You know, and yeah, you make some good money now that Super Motocross happens, but I also have a really good gig in the summertime, and I like to support the local businesses who are helping me out, and got a little racing series in the summer, so it's hard to adjust to that.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, chase that money, right? There's no money in outdoors anyway.
Sure. No, definitely. At the end of the day, you're hurting your body, and
yeah,
obviously for a top guy, right? You're making bonuses and stuff but for us, we're just going there to race, and at the end, that's maybe you get the series points overall deal. But yeah, it just doesn't make any sense for me to go do that and put my life on the line and not enjoy my summer with all the boys back at home, and also support the businesses.
All right, YZ250 wants to know, or he says, I heard arena cross is brutal on bikes with regards to wear and tear. What is something that would surprise the outsider about keeping an arena cross bike on the track? Anything stand out?
Gosh, this is kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to say, man, because like the only thing would be like when the tough blocks get hung up, you know, like they're always getting pushed and moved. Like there is no bookmark or markers on the track. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's a lot easier on the bikes, and it's a lot easier on the body when you're keeping it upright.
There you go.
More times than not. Yeah, you're hitting and stuff or banging bars, but you're not like you're not doing like no Jacob Hayes or Bauer actually T-bone crap, you know?
Yeah.
But I think a lot more people respect each other, and at the end of the day, they want to keep their legs and enjoy their life at the end.
Yeah, you want to keep racing. Shit. Yeah, if you take somebody out, you try to kill somebody, you're likely to kill yourself at the same time. So yeah, maybe a little maturity in the arena cross level at this point.
Yeah, it works both ways. For sure.
All right. Shorty 761 at the pro level. Do you ever just go to a local track and ride with old friends, or is it always quote unquote work when you ride at that level? When was the last time you just rode for fun with the homies?
Dude, we have our Thursday homie rides at Airway Motocross Park in Spokane, and I enjoy those things till the sun goes down, man. I mean, we get a good group of us, and they're all kind of ex-racers and some vets and stuff, but I definitely enjoy having some time with the boys just to go out and throw some whips and ride. They're cracking beers. Sadly, I'm not the beer drinker, but I'll take my water and sip it down with the boys after I'm riding for sure.
All right, that's a good one. It's always good to go kind of back to your roots, hang out with the buddies, and just have some fun. Just a couple more of these. Go ahead.
They're always wishing you luck during the season and stuff, and like it's hard because you're so wrapped up on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the best, and you kind of have those short conversations during the season. That's November to May, so it's always good to be like, "Hey, man, I still want you involved. I just got to have a workload. Like let's have our homie talks and fun stuff."
Yeah. I meant to ask you while we were talking about arena cross, you did the clash on night 2 with the electric bikes. What do you think about that? What do you think about the electric bike class, which we don't like the title, the X Pro class. It's not a good name for the class, but what do you think about racing with them and also just having them have their own little series?
It's a little bit frightening actually to race with them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hear anything. So I remember like going around on a left-hand turn and you see a tire like come up. Well, you can't hear, so it kind of spooks you out a little bit. And then another thing is like, dude, the horsepower of those bikes or whatever the electric power, whatever you want to call, they're exceptionally well. And to get a start off of those guys, I mean, I'm on a 450, man, and my bike works good, right? XPR does the engines, like it's pretty freaking good, and they're powering over our motorcycles. So it's a little difficult. I mean, it's cool to see. I mean, that could be our future, but at the same time, man, I mean, if they're definitely, I feel like more powered than our 450s.
Yeah, that's the big issue. Is some of those can be turned up to like 80 horsepower or whatever. I like way more power can be put to the ground than on a internal combustion engine. So yeah, they have to find a way to regulate that and keep it fair. Which in racing, people are going to cheat if they can. But once you get rolling, though, it's a little hard to use that much horsepower. But and I agree with you. I was out riding my local track Sunday, and my co-host, who will be here tonight, has an electric bike, and I was kind of waiting for him to catch up to me so we could ride together. And I looked back, and he was pretty far back. And I looked forward for a second, and I went to take off. And the next thing I know, he was right beside me, and he scared the shit out of me because I didn't know he was even there. I didn't expect him to catch me that fast. So I think that's the biggest issue is just not really knowing where they are on the track.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of a scary point too, because we use that as a like peripheral direction to coordinate on the track lines. So when you see that, man, you're doing a jump scare.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Can you work on your own bike if you had to? Can you fix most things?
Yes. Yep. I don't do anything motor generated. Like I can change a clutch, oil, chain, stuff like that. But inside the motor, no go. I am not your guy at all. But yeah, wheels, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. The thing that I've been trying the past 3 years is to change a tire. And sadly, I still can't change the tire without popping the tubes. So
it's hard.
I've passed that on to the local dealership, and they've been working their butt off over there.
Yeah, I can do it, but I'm hit or miss. I'll pop one here and there. And I think it really comes down to having good tire spoons. But regardless, it's not fun either. It's just a pain. I'd rather pay a guy $25 and let him do it.
Yep, that's the deal, man. But yeah, just the generic basic stuff is what I can bust out.
Nice. Well, Brian, good luck over in Australia this weekend. And once Arena Cross kicks back up, let's continue that trend from night 2.
Yes, I appreciate it, Darkside. I appreciate you having me on. And always good to talk to you, and I'm excited to get the year going.
All right, man. Great to talk to you too. And yeah, good luck and have a fun trip.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Cheers.
see ya. Bye. All right. Thanks to Ryan Breece and FXR for that. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that pre-recorded interview. Ryan is on a plane headed to Australia right now. So let's roll along with the show, and we're going to jump right into our T-Bolt USA Top 5. And if you are a pit bike enthusiast like TJ over here and love shredding, or like he does, just riding very, very slow around on a CRF 110 or KLX 110, or just whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. T-Bolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for the Chinese bikes that are really difficult to find. You can find everything from pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. TJ, what's like one of the most common things you need for your pit bikes? Like something that you break a lot, wear out a lot?
Foot peg mounts and handlebars. Like, not that it's a, what do you call it? Like you need it a lot, but the first thing you put on your on your pit bike is foot peg mounts, because you're gonna bend them, because they're all fat dudes on kids' bikes,
right? Like you,
yeah. And tall bars,
yeah.
That's a must. Those two things.
And can you find that stuff at T-Bolt USA?
Absolutely. Speaking, I keep needing to message him because
Vince, he's listening. I think
I hadn't seen him in the chat tonight, but I need to get, because he supposedly has one for the KLX, which a lot of people don't care about this, but it has the kickstand mount still on it, because a lot of the other companies make them without the kickstand mounts.
Okay.
And then now you have a pit bike that you can't use as a pit bike. You know, you need a stand.
Yeah.
And so I like running the kickstand. So.
Sweet. Well, the T-Bolt, USA Top 5 this week. TJ, you suggest this Top 5 overrated movies.
Yeah.
We need one for next week. We had a listener suggestion on YouTube, say Top 5 favorite places to ride, which we have done that before.
I think bucket places to ride.
So let's do Top 5.
We have one here.
I don't want to do so much local places. I guess we can, but nobody else would know about it, and we'll all have the same ones.
Yeah.
Let's do let's do Top 5 list favorite places to ride, but let's do 2 local and 3
it's a lot of instructions.
places you've ever rode. So top 5 places you've rode, but 2 of them have to be local. 3 of them have to be just can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Well,
And
top 5.
I get
it's
it.
as simple as top 5 favorite places.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't think I've ever rode that many places not local.
Thunder Valley.
That was one. That's on top of the list.
Well, Scotty, if you that's going to be the list. MotoXpod@gmail.com for the listeners to send in their list. We'll read them on the next show. Not completely sure if we're doing a show next week or 2 weeks from now. Well, next week's Thanksgiving, so we'll skip next week and be back the week after. Mm-hmm. TJ will probably be back, chasing money like the whore he is. But
I don't have a job.
I thought you were going to be back pretty soon, though.
I don't know.
Okay, either way. That's the T-Bolt Top 5, T-Bolt USA Top 5 for next week. This week, Top 5 most overrated movies. We're going to start with Shane Bagley, who sent his in today. He said Titanic, and he gave reasons. Boobs is the only good part of that movie. Inception, I'm not smart enough to follow along.
That was actually a really... Oh,
The Warriors, kind of weird.
Haven't seen it.
That's a classic, gang, late 70s, early 80s gang
I'm there
movie.
with him. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely considered a classic. It's a Wonderful Life. Just always hated it. Going back to being a kid, I've actually never even seen it.
Never seen it.
And Bird Box. Just so the damn monster. Good list, Shane. Good list. I like your list. I feel like I should give Shane a prize for that. Shane,
give him some socks.
Yeah. Shane, email me again. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. If you have a bike, I can get you a shock rebuild or something like that from Race Tech, or we'll figure something out.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got some
If he
cards.
doesn't want it, Shane doesn't want it. He said to give it to me.
Yeah. I need my rebuild.
Somewhere here I have some cards for that kind of stuff. So we'll get you something though, Shane, for that.
Awesome.
But email me so I remember, and 6 months from now, after the YouTube chat has hounded me, I'll remember to send it in to you, okay? Alrighty. TJ, we're saving you for last.
Mine's not even that...
Yeah,
let me go through mine real quick.
We'll be the judge of that.
You go first.
But same as Shane, Titanic. Probably my number 1.
Never seen it.
It's a chick that's a rich chick that cheats on her husband and then lets the poor dude she cheated on with die. Like, it's not a bad movie, but yeah.
And the boat sinks.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Way to ruin the movie.
Plot twist.
Plot twist.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You think that's overrated?
I mean, it's for what it is. Yeah, it's not.
What?
I'm not saying it's a bad.
It's on
movie,
my list, too.
but
No.
it's overrated.
You said you hadn't even seen it.
I've seen the Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
but
I thought we were still on Titanic.
No,
Sorry.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, it's overrated.
That is-
it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's bad.
I literally started that about 2 weeks ago and made it 30 minutes. And I was out.
Yeah,
It doesn't hold up for me.
yeah. Shrek.
Oh, what?
It's whatever, dude.
The first one or the first one's pretty good.
It's good, but it's not
guess
like
that's
the
not the-
critically.
that's not
it's not like
the
critically
criteria.
acclaimed like they say it is. I
Yeah.
mean, it does have a really good soundtrack.
It's not the criteria, so okay.
But I think anyway, sorry.
Boondock Saints. Go back and watch it. It's not. It doesn't hold up. Go back and watch it.
I don't like you right now.
Go
What do you
back
mean
and
it
watch
doesn't? Again.
It doesn't hold up.
Does it
It's
hold
not.
up?
It's not nearly as good as it was when it came out.
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Second
Top-
one sucked.
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. The second one was way bad. And then Top Gun.
The original?
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
It was a good
Gay
movie.
dudes in planes. As well.
Have you seen? There's a thing on YouTube that shows why it's gay.
It's gay.
Yeah, no, but they give all these reasons about like, and then they play the different parts in the movie, and it's like, oh wow, it does kind of look like
Yeah,
you
it's-
might-
that I don't. I
Not
haven't,
that there's anything wrong with being gay.
yeah, no, I
I
didn't say
haven't
that.
seen
It's
that,
just,
but that just reminds me of that thing on Saturday Night Live. Are these guys working out, or is it what was it?
Oh yeah,
Are these guys
Talking about-
having
yeah,
sex?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's your list,
that was 5.
Scotty.
All right.
Just
I've got.
five.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got it.
I haven't watched the movie. The book was amazing.
The book's
Yeah.
so good. That's
The book is so
I don't
good.
like to read.
That's my problem. We have an argument about the Dark Tower. Any Stephen King movie, I kind of think sucks because I love the book
Yeah,
so
the books are
much.
so good. Yeah.
But
Nice.
I still
It's
think
on my list is it.
Is that movie considered like a cult classic?
Stop acting like an idiot.
Yeah.
You're the idiot.
I just
seen it.
Don't be an idiot.
Are you talking
Change my
original
life.
or new one?
it doesn't matter.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
I was gonna put Star Wars in, but I'm gonna be nice. I took it out and I replaced it with basically the same storyline of the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
Not even
I
remotely close to the same story.
No,
I
it
was,
is.
okay.
So
it's
good.
it's an orphan kid that lives with his aunt and uncle. They lied to him. He goes to he goes into battle with a friend and a girl that he thinks he's in love with, but ends up being like a sister.
You know more about way more
That is
about
actually
that.
pretty interesting. Actually. like
Just sitting here being
I
quiet.
saw like this stand up where he talks about
Yeah.
it, and
Oh,
it's
that's
like
pretty good. Yeah, I'll
I'm
give
just
you-
sitting here being quiet.
The John Wick movies.
That's on my list.
Yeah, like
They're good, but
That-
they-
that's just-
Are they
it's a-
considered great?
they
People
got
do
pretty,
think
they
so,
got
but
pretty
the
high.
fight
Okay.
scenes are awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's an awesome movie to watch, but
All
it's
right.
not what
the first
yeah.
2 or 3 fight scenes are awesome, and then it's just the same thing.
Yeah,
over.
well, I mean,
And-
it's
and then,
most
uh,
action movies.
And
Do me a
then
favor, real quick. One of you get in the chat and just go back to the messages and see who made the suggestion about the
I think it was
top 5.
It was Donnie Berger.
Okay, yeah, give him credit for that. Sorry, I just thought of that real quick.
Appreciate that, Donnie.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but
all the recent Marvel movies, they are hot garbage.
Yeah, I don't really like
And-
comic book
all
stuff
our
anyways.
Spider-Man was really good.
Like,
the new Spider-Man stuff.
I don't
I don't
yeah,
like comic
they're-
book stuff that much.
Yeah, and then Lord of the Rings, all the Lord of the Rings.
oh god,
Yeah.
I hate you. That was the worst one of your picks.
And then honorable mention.
But you liked Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings are fantastic.
Yes, okay.
The books
My-
are fantastic. The movies are
I haven't read
fantastic.
those books. Are they? Is the movie
They're
and the
so
book?
good. There's like everything else. There's so much more in the books.
Really?
So much more
There's
story.
one problem there. I hate reading.
Well, because you're an
Hate
idiot.
it.
and then honorable
how to spell.
mentioned Taxi.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
I tried to. I was like,
Yeah.
it's a cult classic. I'll go
Yeah.
watch it. And I was like, this movie fucking
That
sucks.
Raging Bull, also Raging Bull, just kind of like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
I might have to come back to your Lord of the Rings thing here in a minute with my new sound drop, but we got to let TJ go first.
Okay. Okay. The I guess it would be American Psycho. Is like everybody touts this movie up, and it's okay, but it's just kind of dumb, right?
It was okay.
It was okay. Okay.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
All of the John Wick movies, I said that. Sling Blade.
Fuck. TJ, let me tell you a story.
We just got demonetized.
Dude, I didn't say it all. I didn't say the whole thing.
He said, "Fuck."
Forget you.
cannot
Forget
find,
you.
Nobody streams that. You can't find it.
I know. I know, but
I
you know
found
why?
it last night and downloaded it. I had to pirate it.
No, I love the movie, but it's not like
it is.
It's not a cult classic.
It is.
It's.
Okay, keep going.
It's like when they say you never go full retard, like they did.
Dude, that was one of the three I said I might walk out on.
Okay, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, come on.
Again, Stephen King, great movie.
But
That Shawshank
I didn't
Redemption's
realize
good.
that was a King movie.
Yep, it's a short story.
Okay,
Yep.
I did not realize that. And Shawshank was good, but it wasn't anything special.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Okay, and Avatar was my number one.
Ah,
Like
no,
really.
there it goes.
I haven't even seen them.
No, actually, I'm waiting.
Okay,
Is
and
that all?
then I do have a runner-up that y'all may disagree with me, but you may not because of one of the ones you said, Pulp Fiction.
There it is.
There it is.
Everybody shush.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it
Michael
not
Scott.
that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Dude, Pulp Fiction may
yeah,
be the
I
number one movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's not.
I've watched it thousands of times.
Yeah.
It's not the the storyline is meh. The problem is
What do you mean it's
hold on.
great?
No, listen,
Great.
it's great because of the way it was cut together. But if you were to
That's
watch
any
it,
movie. You can destroy any movie editing.
No, but the storyline is not that great. It's great because it was something new. We had never seen anything chopped together.
I don't know.
and
I can
jumped
watch that
around
movie
in
1,000
time
times and love it every
and all
time.
that kind of stuff.
I feel like it might be the perfect movie.
Like me and my fiance watch it probably like three
it's
times
a great
year.
movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy the movie, but it's not like what y'all are saying, the greatest movie of all time.
I mean,
If you-
for me,
if
it's
you-
the one I go back to more than almost anything. So
if you
it
can
is
go
for
back
me.
and watch it that many times, it's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that would be Groundhog's Day.
Jesus.
I could almost
know
put
what
that
that
on
is.
my list.
Groundhog Day is, anyways,
Okay, mine are any Marvel movie.
any of them.
Any of them. They're
Yeah.
just they're all the same.
Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Guardians is funny.
That's the only one.
Okay,
But
it's
that's
not
the
any.
only
But
one.
it's not any.
That's the
But
only
it's
exception.
still overrated in my opinion. I don't. They are
good.
not in
So
my
good.
top
Yeah.
list by any means.
I'll give you that.
I got
It's like
Avatar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's y'all are wrong on that. I'm
I
sorry.
like Avatar.
Titanic's on my list. Tron, original or the newer one.
Yeah.
You don't
Gone
like-
with the Wind, considered one of the greatest movies of all time. It's funny as shit, but it's not meant to be. It's only funny because of how they
Yeah.
acted back in that
Yeah,
time
yeah,
period.
yeah,
Yeah.
What are some of the lines that made me laugh? Oh God, I can't remember the lines now. It's just, I love you, I do. I don't even remember how the lines go now anymore. But
Anyways.
the movie cracks me up because of the overacting. All right, here's the one that might piss some people off: Lonesome Dove.
I don't even know what that is.
No, wow, okay.
But that's way more than a movie. That's like a episode or whatever they call it. That was,
Episodic. I think those are called episodics. But
that was so good though.
I don't like westerns
Yeah.
as a whole. But
When
I
you
know
said
like
you
a
didn't
lot.
like westerns.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to throw like any of the spaghetti westerns.
Maybe
on
that's
there.
not even. Is that a western? Would you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And it just didn't do anything for me.
I
I
like
watched it. I was like, yeah, all right. Yeah.
TJ,
I
I
would-
quote Sling Blade probably more than anything. And
got no gas.
Dwight Yoakam, when the drunk in the he's that
It's not.
All right.
it's
Listen.
awesome, dude.
MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. I want to know what you think of our list. I want to hear your list. 2 weeks from now, when we come back to do top 5 favorite places to ride, I want to have a list of these lists from you guys. Hit us up. What you think about our movies. Tell us again why TJ's an idiot. Honestly, Scotty too, because Lord of the Rings, what an idiot.
Lord of the Rings was good, and
So
Would it
good.
make it'd probably make it even more mad that I've never even really watched them. I just
me either.
that doesn't make. That's the worst.
Then you're just, you're
Yeah.
discounted.
I like the fact that they are so
I
hyped
just don't
up.
get
make me
into
don't
stuff like
want-
that.
Yeah,
I'm the same with Star Wars, Star Trek, all that. I don't know. I just don't
the
get
Lord of
into
the
it.
Ring movies, if you watch them, they're very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, it's more they're just not for me
yeah.
than it is they're overrated.
And the fact that it's just you hear about it all the time, and it just makes me not want to watch.
I'm
it.
with you on the Harry Potter stuff though.
Can't
Yeah,
believe you
but
dropped the
there was a
F-bomb.
lot of James Cameron hate from the group. Titanic, Avatar.
I've never seen Titanic. I knew how it ended. The boat sank, so I never watched
All right, hey, let's jump into. We're gonna jump into ETS Racing Fuels Turd's take because he is on the line. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams and highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com. To find a local distributor, ETS Racing Fuels, trusted by Factory, KTM, Rockstar Husqvarna, TLD Gas, no more, Factory Triumph, and many more. Tonight, ETS Racing Fuels, Turds Takes, as always, our buddy Hudson Short. What's up, Hudson?
What's up, Dark Side?
We're just sitting around talking about Paris Supercross. We're going to talk about Arena Cross in a little bit. But right now, we're talking to Turd. What's up, Turd? What do you got for us tonight? What's your take?
So, I got 2 takes.
Oh, boy. Let's go.
I haven't been listening to your podcast so far because we're going to listen to it going to Minios. But I wanted to talk about Cooper Webb, first of all, with Breece.
Let's do it. Paris.
I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but he switches to fly, my gear. Well, it's not my gear. I wear that gear.
You
and
also,
he just goes out
you also
and wins.
destroy it when you run into people.
And then doesn't replace it? I mean,
yeah, it then doesn't replace it.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck?
Anyway, go
Possibly.
ahead. Okay, he went out and won. Correct. All right.
Yeah. Is this a coincidence, or does that mean Cooper's back?
Cooper's back.
back.
I'll give you that. Yeah, he's back, and it probably is because of Fly Racing.
Yep.
FXR,
He was flying.
FXR sponsors this show, but we love the guys at Fly Racing also. So yeah, I think that's a good take, Hudson.
And do you think Jet and Hunter were rusty, and they have work to do, or no?
Well, Jet does not have any work to do. He just needs to not run into lappers. Hunter, for sure, they were talking about that he's not completely comfortable on the new bike yet in Supercross, but they haven't spent a whole lot of time on the new bike riding Supercross yet either. So I think he will be fine come Anaheim.
I don't think Jet's as comfortable either, but Jet just hides it a lot better.
Yeah,
Hunter,
I agree. But
everything has to be perfect for Hunter to be up at the front like that.
Yeah. But I would say I don't know if it's rust, Hudson, but I would say there's some work to be done still.
And I heard this on the Pulpamex show. I'm pretty sure I have the right number.
We've never heard of that.
It was the over-under. It was the over-under of 21.5 wins for Jet. What is y'all's takes on that?
How many wins?
21.5.
Supercross and outdoors.
Is that overall outdoors or individual motos?
Overalls.
Overalls.
Yeah. Overall.
I'm gonna take the under.
That's a good. That's a good
I'm gonna
number,
go under,
really.
but not much under.
What about you?
I'm gonna go under personally.
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
What's that?
And what was the number?
That's
21.5.
21.5.
That's 10. Let's see.
Where does this number come from?
It's like sports betting. If it hits 22, that way you can't have a tie.
11 Supercross wins and 11 outdoor. I don't know. That's kind of tough.
11 outdoor wins.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
perfect season, right? Well, I guess it wouldn't have
Let's
to
just
be
go with the
perfect.
over-under and call it good. Did you have another take? Or is that it?
Well, first, before we move on to Minios here,
Okay.
we're gonna. What was y'all's opinions on Mookie? He showed good speed, I think, right?
Oh, he's
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, he looks fit. I think he looks more trim than he has the
Comfortable.
last couple of years, and I think he looks the best he has in 2 years. It was just one event, but he looked like he was ready to go. I actually reached out to him earlier trying to get an interview this week to do something for Vital MX this week with him because, yeah, he's good.
I think just Mookie always has had the speed. He just has to stay healthy.
Yeah, I do too. I think last year was like a rebuild year, but I think he's ready to go this year mentally, and I know he's more comfortable, riding outdoors. He got a lot more gate drops in. I think he's going to be a factor this year. Now, will he get a win? I'm going to say no, but will he be challenging for podiums? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Who has
that's a good turd take.
Okay, I like it.
Let's ask you this: who has a better season, Barsha or Mookie?
Mookie.
Mookie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
What you got on Minios, Hudson?
I don't know how plugged in y'all are with the amateur scene over here. I don't know how much you've been listening to Mr. Steve, but do you think Minios will be bigger than ever entries-wise?
It's been pretty big the last few years, hasn't it?
It's been growing every year. It should be pretty good. The only thing that may actually hurt it is all the stuff going on in Florida with the weather and stuff. People may not go because of that. I mean,
I know several people that I wouldn't think would go to Minios that are going to Minios, so it may end up being bigger.
like Minios is one of my favorite amateur
awesome.
nationals. That and the Baja Brawl are probably two of the best. Not just for the racing, because the racing's awesome.
Everything
but
about it.
Just a bunch of ridiculous kids in the pits acting a fool, and you can join in with them, and it's
Reminds
fun.
me of being a kid.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun at Minios.
Hudson, what classes are you racing, buddy?
85 12 to 13, 85 9 to 13, and then mini senior 1.
And you've been a couple of times, right?
I've been just last year to Minios.
Last year was your first year, so this year there's going to be a lot less of like your second time going. You'll be able to enjoy it more instead of because there's a lot of people that are there.
Yeah, Minios is the biggest race I've ever been to. I think there's more people at Minios than Loretta's. There might be like
absolutely
quote unquote cooler people at Loretta's.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the quantity of people, there's so many people at Minios. It takes 30 minutes to get to the other side of the property for parking on a pit bike.
If you're heading over there, y'all are doing Supercross too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Have you not been to the Baja Brawl?
No, it
Dude.
sounds crazy. I've seen so many
much
videos.
Fun. So much fun. You go there, the racing it's not as stressful as Minios because Minios there's a lot of people watching. It's a big deal, but I think the trip as a family and how much fun the pits can be and everything at Minios, at the Baja is better.
We should try to go next year.
Yeah, Baja's so much fun.
You got to convince my dad to take me. I think that's like 19 hours away.
It's not any farther than because we live out here in East Texas. It's really not any farther than going to Minios.
Yeah,
and the track
Minios is like 15.
And the track is so much better. Baja's track is sand, and it's got these big heels that are. I think it's a better.
It's got heels. Like, click
Okay.
your heels together to get home. Click those heels. Hey, Hudson, did your dad find his way out of the high desert, or is he still lost out there on his?
No, I think he's still lost out there. I haven't heard from him
sounds
since.
so sad.
Damn it! That was so awesome 2 weeks ago seeing him. But all right, Hudson, these Turds takes are fun, man. You got good takes. I like it. We're gonna try to keep this thing going for 2025. And we got to get you a banner made for the top of the scroll when we do the show.
Banner.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm that important.
Oh, well, ETS Racing Fuels is. Maybe not you, but
Yeah. I might need some of that.
yeah, well, yeah, me too. we'll hit up Kyle and try to get some fuel soon. But Hudson, thank you for answering your call and doing ETS Racing Fuels Turds Take.
Yeah, and Darkside, when are you going to come ride a track by us?
Dude, I don't know, man.
Let's go soon.
Are you gonna be home the next couple months, or are you gonna be traveling?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you ride the most at in that area of Texas?
Dark Horse, right?
Dark Horse.
Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dark Horse is going away
Closing down,
because
yeah.
he got a new place.
Yeah.
And my dad just went to that new place this morning. He said it looks super good.
Is it closer to
It's
y'all
over
or
by
farther?
Bastrop, kind of by
No,
Murphy's,
it's farther.
I think.
It's farther. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, we got
It used to.
go ahead.
The Dark Horse right now is like a mile away from us tops, and the new one's like 30 minutes away.
That's not bad.
So you ought to just open a track at your house.
They have one.
I mean, like open one up for the public, and we'll go right there.
There we go. You don't have to open it up to the public. Just let us come ride.
Yeah, just let us come ride. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all come ride anytime.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
I already told them I was going to come down and stay like a weekend. We got to set that up. We'll find out when you guys are going to be in town, and I'll make a trip down, and we'll do some. Yeah, we'll do some
bring the RV.
video or
Text my
something.
dad.
I'm not going
Text my dad.
Nah, I'll text your mom, man. I'm not worried. Your mom's the boss.
My mom will probably kick you out, dude.
I don't think so. I think your mom and I are cool.
Jamie's weird
I don't know.
about people's chit.
All right, I'll text your dad then. All right, Hudson.
Okay.
We'll
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Of course, buddy. Thanks for doing it. We'll talk to you real soon, and be safe and have fun.
Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Man, I like that kid.
Yeah, Hudson is
He's jumping his
super
mom's
rad.
DM.
Hudson Short, son of Andrew Short, if you guys didn't put the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay, 2 more segments. We're going to do Evan's Coolant emails. We're going to do 1 email. Then we're going to jump into the EVS Arena Cross review for this week. And then we're going to wrap the show up. So, Evan's waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro Factory Yamaha, and many other teams, regardless of the sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. All right, Evans, cool emails. Vince Pale from T-Boat USA sent a bunch of stuff in, a bunch of topics. Vince, we're going to save those for the next show. I'm going to do one email that I've been kind of holding on to for a little while. And this one's just sort of a random, goofy question. Got a few of those that I want to get to eventually. But this one is, would you rather, okay, you guys ready? Be buried alive or drowned? Scotty.
This is way easier than you're making it.
Yeah. I think this would be fun
Can
for
I not think about it for 2 seconds?
I need to do you last because you take the longest amount of time.
Nobody told you to go first.
I figured
How can I
for TJ
prepare
this
for
would
a
be
question
good.
I've never been asked?
It's a simple question. But
Buried
didn't you have a top
You're an
5
idiot.
like ways to die, and there were all these crazy
Buried alive.
See, that's
You're
why
an
I
idiot.
knew that's what he was going to
What do you mean? It'd be like the
If
most.
you drown, if you know you're drowning,
It's
all
over.
you do is
I know.
suck
but
in
think
air,
about
suck in
the
water, and it's
suffer
over.
when you're buried alive.
It would be miserable.
It's so
I know.
freaking
Oh,
weird.
what was that one
So you
list we
wanna-
had where
so
it
you
got
wanna-
weird?
Top
You
5
wanna
ways to
suffer.
die.
Oh, yeah, it got
The
weird.
way to
Yeah.
die, okay, I don't want my death to be. I don't want to like die in my sleep.
I was
wanna-
trying to think of what the different experiences would be like.
Which
and
would be
I
quicker.
I
would
think
just-
I would
that's
go with
the answer.
drown.
Look, when you're
Any
buried
normal
alive,
person would.
I will say this: when you're buried alive, it'd probably be less painful.
You're burying me.
Because
I'm
you'd
still
run out of
alive.
oxygen sooner or later. You would just go to sleep.
No,
You
you
would.
get crushed because you can't breathe.
No, if you're buried alive in a coffin,
Yeah, I
you
think it would-
can't.
I do really hate being underwater and not being able to breathe.
Yeah, but if you know you're not getting out of it, all you do is inhale
No,
water.
I'm thinking about the
and you're
struggle.
out.
Like you're
I
fighting.
think
No.
you fight or
You-
die.
no,
I
you
don't-
just and it's over quick.
I think whichever one's the longest lasting, most excruciating way to die. That's the one I want.
That's
All
stupid.
right, let's close this thing out with EVS racing. We're going to
What
go
was your answer?
Drown for sure. Yeah, like there's no question. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Axel Hodges, and even Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out evs-sports.com. Use the code VITALMX30. That's all caps. To save and gear up like the pros, you can get some new Access Web Eclipse knee braces, the TP199 or Slaco 96 knee guards that a lot of guys like to wear, and the technical undergear that I really enjoy, and all kinds of different chest protectors, tons of stuff at evs-sports.com. I just want to wrap up the Arena Cross Series. Races 1 and 2, rounds 1 and 2 were this past weekend in Reno. We didn't really get into it too deep. First things first, I've got some insider information from some people that were there. A lot of complaints about the track. Track was not ideal, wasn't really good for racing.
Super slick.
Very slick, which Doc raced it, but I think that's going to improve. What is kind of exciting is Kyle Peters has won 5 championships in a row. He's on trying to win 6 in a row, which will be a record. But now MCR's Vince Freeze is in the series full time, and that guy looked really good night 1. He's going to be a major threat. He's probably the favorite,
I'm about
honestly.
to say, if he finishes the series, I can't imagine unless something major changes with the way KP had this weekend. I know it's just 2 races, but
Yeah.
like if something doesn't change, then there's no chance of KP winning this.
I mean, Breece won night 2.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like,
So
well, that was because of what's his name? Vince had issues.
yeah, Vince had, well, and hopefully that, the whole series, that's going to be a thing, right? There's short amount of time. Look at Breece, had multiple issues on the first night.
Yeah.
Also want to give credit to him. I talked about it in the interview that was just played, but my insider guy said that during the rebuilding of his bike from both those crashes, like he was super calm, just stayed chill, very respectful, appreciated his mechanic, never really got freaked out. So, you want to see a pro do that. Ryan Breece, longtime pro. But I think the series is going to be very good this year. I think there's a lot of Kyle Bitterman. Hopefully Robbie Wageman steps it up a little bit. He was a little disappointing. He's on the 450 unlike almost everybody else. But I think
like everybody else.
No, everybody's on. Or excuse me, he's on the 250.
Yes.
Everybody else on the 450. Sorry. So he struggled a little bit. I wonder if that's going to change. But I expected more out of Robbie. But I think the series should be very good at something that we all need to keep our eyes on.
Bitterman was really good. Sorry.
Yes.
I don't mean to hog this. Go ahead.
Anybody? Did you guys watch it?
I've seen a bunch of highlights and stuff.
Did you get to watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I've been super busy with a bunch of stuff, but I'm super excited for the series. There's going to be
I love
battles
having
every week.
Cross
I do too. I love
It sounds like Michael Hicks is going to be in the series for the whole thing, so I guess he's not going to defend GT. Maybe do some races he can, but unless they just go.
Oh, really? That's cool.
He's in the AMA series full time. I have to imagine some of the rounds. I didn't check it overlap. So he's focusing on this along with Brandon Ray. Austin Politelli was very, very fast, had some bike issues. So there's some really good riders in this series, including the new electric class, which you hate the title. I don't really like the name of the class.
Dumbest
X-Pro.
title ever. It should be like E-Pro, maybe?
Something, yeah, E-Pro's a lot better.
Yeah. Or EX.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because it's AX.
But it's cool that this is the first official AMA electric national championship. It's a legitimate class. A legitimate championship. During the press conference, the AMA rep, which is I'm blanking on the name now. Anyway,
AMA rep.
We noticed.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, either way, that he said like we have never really been anti e-bike. It's just, hey, is it safe? That's their biggest concern. We've talked about that. Ryan Breece talked about it. Is it going to be safe? That's why they gave them their own class. They are doing the Clash for Cash, which is the top 3 fastest e-bike heat race winner riders versus the top 3 internal combustion engine riders. They go race each other, and if somebody's uncomfortable, they don't have to race that.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So like KP didn't race it either night. He chose not to. Not probably because he was uncomfortable. He just chose not to do that. But it's pretty neat to see both those the e-bikes and the gas bikes out there. And then one night, Justin Hill wins it on an e-bike. The next night,
no, the first night was ridden by a 4-stroke.
Yes. Bogle won it night 2. Hill won everything else. Who won it the first night? Do you remember?
I can pull up the results.
Yeah, I think I got it right here. Freeze. Yeah, Freeze won it. So I'm excited about that. Like, I'm not a guy that really I'm championing for e-bikes in AMA racing or not. It's kind of like I'm just like whatever. But I love that they're trying it. AMA has approved it. Right now, it's only bikes that meet Class B. Whatever those rules are, they're in the rule book now, the AMA rule book now. And if another company builds a bike to those specs, they will allow those bikes in. Right now, it's only the Stark Vargs because
they can be in there.
Yeah, they're the only bikes that meet all the criteria.
Oh, that's cool. I need to look those rules
I like that they're trying it and trying to figure out where they can slot it in and see if they can race together and figure out what they're doing, because like when they brought in 4-strokes, they
totally screwed.
Yeah,
they talked
screwed
about
up.
that in the press conference. Yeah. I think it was the AMA rep. It's Matt Burkeen's dad, I think. So
what's his name?
Yeah, I can't remember his first name, but it's anyway. He said they kind of screwed that up, and we don't want to do that again. Mike Burkeen. He said we don't want to do that again. So this is why we're trying it the way we are. So it feels like they're going about it the right way.
I mean, that's all they're asking for is a chance to try to figure it out, So I'm glad they're at least trying.
And they changed a few things for AMA Arena Cross this year. In years past, they've had semifinals. No more semifinals. They're just doing 3 heat races. The top 3 out of each heat race go straight to the main.
Yeah.
And the top 3 from each LCQ go straight to the main. Everybody else goes into a LCQ or a B main.
The B main. I would say I like the fact that they're pulling the top 3 out of the LCQ instead of just 1.
Yeah.
Because it makes the racing deeper into like guys don't just when you're in 3rd or 4th place, you just don't give up.
Give up.
Yeah. So I like
that.
Yeah.
So and the number of riders in the main went from I believe 12 to 15, if I'm not mistaken. They upped it. They felt
15,
they felt like the level of talent that's been showing up has been enough to up those guys. Like in the past, they didn't want to have guys that were a little off the pace
in the
main. So I think they're really doing a lot to improve the series, and it's good, man. It's cool seeing a guy like Vince Freeze move over and more guys going in, and I think it's going to be a really good series. I believe it's a 12 race series this year.
Yep.
I just think the tracks need to improve a little bit. They had some issues with tough blocks in one of the corners that kept coming out.
Yep.
I saw one flying.
Yeah, there's one in particular in a left-hander that ended up in the middle of the track over and over and over.
Right,
and
it was right before the triple.
Before the triple. Yeah, and actually,
you ain't trying.
Breece actually got protested. We talk about that in the interview. Apparently, Phoenix Honda protested because he cut inside it
so
one
far
time.
inside with that.
Well, he went inside the
because the bell got kicked in
yeah,
the
it
track.
got moved as he was going in, and he just went inside and ran with it. But they gave him a warning, let it go.
That triple was massive.
Dude, it
before
was,
they
yeah.
before they like took it out and changed
For
it.
night
It was
2, yeah.
huge.
So yeah, it was really cool. Everybody's talking about like the track not being good, but there was a lot of guys switching lanes and moving around. It was pretty impressive to see how fast some of those guys were in the whoops. Bitterman was really good. Paul Telly I feel like stepped his game up.
Yeah, he looked good.
So yeah, I'm excited about the series. It's not, like I said, it's not a very long series this year. It doesn't end in Vegas. It ends in Daytona on a different weekend than Supercross Daytona, I believe. I don't think it's the same weekend, but
it's the same weekend.
Is it the same weekend?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Friday.
Okay, when I looked at the date, I didn't feel like it matched up.
Hold on,
but
let me look here.
You're probably right.
I have it right here. It's February the 28th.
Okay,
and
that seems really early for Daytona Supercross. Maybe it is though, because usually it's after Dallas. It's usually in March, I think.
Yeah, but they rerouted it because
that is
different.
true.
Tampa
There you go.
and,
Okay, yeah, I probably have this schedule on my phone, but it'd take me a minute to find it.
Go ahead, I'll pull it up.
Either way, very excited about this AMA Arena Cross Series. I'm thankful that they asked us to be part of the press conference. And I think it's going to be really good. A lot of change. Again, I keep saying the same thing. It's just going to be good. There's a lot of good riders this year. Every year it gets a little better.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Daytona's March 1st.
Okay, so it's not the same weekend.
It's February 28th. It's a couple days before.
Couple days before.
It's the Friday.
March 1st.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
March
That makes
1st.
end of February into the first week of March. There you go. Yep. All right. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this thing up?
Nope.
I think we covered it, man.
All right. I want to thank Austin Forkner and Ryan Breece, and I want to thank Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA for being the presenting sponsors of the MotoXpod show. I want to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X-Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Barnett Clutches, T-Bolt USA, ETS Racing Fuels. Look, it's imperative, Turd, Hudson Short, it's imperative that you guys support these sponsors. This show, it could easily go away at any time. I mean, it's certainly a possibility if advertisers don't want to hang on, if the numbers aren't good enough. You got to support these sponsors. Let them know you're listening. Let them know you want them involved with the MotoXpod show. And you can also reach out to us, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, what we can improve on. Look for some changes coming soon. Other than that, I think we'll be back in 2 weeks. Don't forget to send us your emails for your top 5 favorite places to ride. We'll read those things off. But other than that, we are out of here.